that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, TKL, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. TKL and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suit your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is Friday, November the 26th. One day until the last day of the regular season in college football. Jason Swain, live here from the Lowe T Center studio, and joining me in different cities, Ben McKee, Seb Stokes. Ben, Stokes, good morning, fellas.
Good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Man, we are fantastic. We are fantastic. Stokes, we got you there? We got you, Stokes? Stokes there?
You got me?
Hey, here we go, my friend. Sounding good, sounding good. Good morning, Stokes. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Swain. Are you still as stuffed as I am?
I was until about 5 o'clock this morning.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. It was the 3 slices of pie that I had last night before I went to bed that really did me over the top.
Yeah, man. It was the pie. And for all those that don't like pie, I don't understand. But yeah, man, the pecan pie, my daughter and my great uncle made an apple pie.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it went down, man. It went down.
Yeah. I had a slice of pumpkin pie,
what's that?
Pecan pie, and chocolate chess pie.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, I went in. I gave it a couple of hours in between meals, but man, I went in.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff right there, man. That's a trifecta of desserts. What did Stokes have over there? Stokes, are you awake?
I am here. I just had to change the setting here on my laptop, trying to get this thing working right.
There you go.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah. We hear you, man. We thought you were still in the coma. We was worried about you.
I feel like I'm still in a little bit of a food coma, man. I do feel it. Oh man, yesterday was great. The food was all good, as always. Had some, the typical turkey and ham and dressing and all that fun stuff. But dessert-wise, we got these little individual, like, little bunk cake things
Yeah.
that were really, really good, and had some of these cool, like, I don't even know what they were, what type of cookie it was. It was really, really good. Just different stuff. Didn't go the pie route this year, but still had some good dessert, good food. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. So it was an adventure. Let's just say that for the last couple of days. So we did Tennessee Prime. Ben, Brent Hubbs, Cade Mays, and Jaquan Blakely, and then that was over at 8. Whatever, broke down all the equipment, came back to the crib, and told myself, go to bed, go to sleep. We always do this, right? Go to bed, go to sleep, because you got to get up in the morning. And in this case, I'm traveling, going to Huntsville to pick up my great uncle and bring it back. So I told myself, go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, by 10. Well, I didn't go to sleep until 11:30. My plan was to get up at 3 and then 3 a.m. and go to Huntsville and pick up my great uncle, me and my oldest daughter. And that's what we did. Got up at 3 in the morning, left by 3:30, drove to Huntsville, got to Huntsville around, 5:25 local time there because I were behind. I laid on the couch for about 15, 20 minutes, and I was like, ugh, I'm in Alabama way too long. I can't be in Alabama this long. Saw my childhood room for a little bit. Saw some things on the wall, some accolades. My uncle was like, hey, you can take that with you, if you want to take it. I was like, nah, I want to leave some stuff here because it just feels weird to take all of your stuff, And so we left. We left about, what was that, about 6 a.m. and hit the road, Ben, and you'll be proud. About 5 minutes of traffic. That's it. On the way back, you know how you're approaching Chattanooga and that part of, I guess it was like an area of water. I think it's like a lake or I don't know what it is. When you make that left curve around to get into the city of Chattanooga, that was the only traffic. 5 minutes, and then boom, got home at 10:15. It was just like we planned, man, to avoid that Chattanooga traffic. So went down, got my uncle, came back, and the day before, on Tuesday, smoked a brisket, smoked a couple of hams, sent you home with the ham, and then when I came back, smoked some ribs, did the turkey, and then yesterday it was just crazy, man. Got a chance to grub and eat all of it. So long story short, man, it was a busy week, man, towards the end of the week to have a great Thanksgiving, man. Hope you guys had an awesome Thanksgiving as well.
I did. That body of water is kind of sort of called the Tennessee River, by the way.
I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know if it was Tennessee River or not.
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, the Tennessee River flows into Alabama for a solid chunk, but it's a good thing and a bad thing. Bad thing that Tennessee River has to be in Alabama, but a good thing that the Alabamians have to deal with the Tennessee River in their own backyard. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, man. It was good, man. What time did you guys grub? Did y'all set a time and actually hit that time, or did you set a time and then like 2-3 hours later?
I don't know about you, Stokes, but we ate pretty late in the day, which was perfectly fine. We didn't set a time. It was more so just kind of around 3-4 o'clock. That's what we were aiming for, and that's what we did. So we typically eat a little bit later, not too late. This is probably the latest that we ever ate, 3:34. I don't even remember what time it was, but we ate later in the day. How about you, Stokes?
We were supposed to eat at 2. I think we actually started eating around 2:45-ish, so just missed that 2 o'clock mark. But so that was, and I didn't eat breakfast, so every minute past 2 that we weren't eating, I was getting a little more antsy because big guy, gotta eat.
You was getting hangry.
but I made up for it though. I made up for it.
Did y'all see that video? I think I sent it to. I don't think I sent it to you, Ben. I should have sent it to both of you guys. I sent it to my brother and my wife, but it was going around the internet yesterday, especially on Twitter, of the family that was in the house getting ready to eat, and Grandma was praying, and she was praying a long time, and like one of the family members like fell out, like passed out right before the prayer was over because he was waiting too long. I don't know if he was joking or if he's seriously like passed out because the sugar was low. Sugar was low, and then they picked him up and he stood up. But in all this time, Grandma was still praying. She had the longest prayer ever. And then they panned over to a gentleman who was already sitting, who already had his plate stacked to the top, and no one else had their plate. But during the prayer, old boy had food already on his fork on the way to his mouth, and he was just waiting for the prayer to be over so he can take that first bite. Did y'all guys see that video?
I did not see it.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Dude, my uncle had a prayer, and after about 15 seconds, I started looking at him like, hey now, it's time to go. It's time to go. Give thanks. That's important, but it's time to go. It's time to eat. All right, guys. Man, a lot to get to today. A lot to get to today. I hope everyone, again, had a great Thanksgiving. But, man, tomorrow is the last regular season game for Tennessee for college football. And then we get conference championships next week. And then that's it for a couple weeks until bowl game. Now, I do know we get the Army-Navy game the week after conference championships. I know that's a big game for you, Ben. Big game for a lot of people.
Navy.
That's right, man. A lot of people. That is the game of the year. But we're going to bring on Chris Lowe here in the second or third hour. Got to find out if he's awake from his food coma, because there's a lot of college football jobs open, guys. There's a lot of things happening in college football inside of the SEC, outside the SEC. But first, Tennessee, as tomorrow will be senior day. Who's going to participate, who is not, who's going to play, who is not going to play. And just to start things off, Alante Taylor is going to participate in in the Senior Day festivities. And he has another year if he wanted to come back to be a super senior. But he said, nah, I'm good. I'm ready to get up out of here. Ben Stokes, thoughts on Alante Taylor, Senior Day, and declining to be a super senior. He is going to be at the Senior Bowl. He got an invite and accepted that. But, guys, your thoughts on Alante Taylor?
I don't blame him. Go make some big money. I know he's a little bit from the NIL and that and all, but look, at in my opinion, as you get a little older, every little bit of or every snap you're playing in college is the potential to take away money in the NFL. You can get injured. You can have a bit of a down season and possibly lose some money. So Taylor's playing really, really well. I'd say if he's eligible to go to the NFL, he's accepted the Senior Bowl invite. He can show out in front of scouts there too. And go get a big contract, sir.
Ben?
Yeah, I'm with Stokes. I mean, I think this is not a surprising decision. I would be surprised if anybody were surprised. I mean, this has been the plan for Alante all year, for this to be his final season. And Swain, I remember back in the day, sad that we have to refer to it as back in the day now, but when Cam Sutton was a senior and you would come on the airwaves and talk about how Cam Sutton just has this different approach to practice, and that was because he was ready to get to the league, and that's the type of approach that Alante Taylor has had since the season last year ended, since the Jeremy Pruitt debacle ended. It's been all about business for Alante Taylor, both as a leader, stepping up last offseason and helping this football team come together, and on the field as well. And I've seen tweets here and there from those who cover the draft talking about how he's one of the most physical, if not the most physical corner in the draft this year. He's going to be able to show that off in the Senior Bowl with a ton of NFL personnel in attendance, and I think it's the right time for Alontae. I think he's pretty much done all that he can do at Tennessee aside from greater team goals. So I think this is a good move for Alontae, and I'm not surprised by it at all. It's time for him to go make some money.
No, for sure. And when you were talking about the Cam Sutton, that was I remember that. It actually was Cam Sutton's junior season, Ben. You know, when he had that fall camp, you could just see that he was preparing like he was a senior, but he was a junior because he was trying to get up out of there in 3 years. Now he wound up staying, and you know, we can sit here and say, man, Cam Sutton probably had some of his better years earlier in his career at corner, right? Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, he was, but that junior season, man, he was locked in, kind of like Alontae Taylor this year, or any type of senior that understands that it's over. This is it. This is your last opportunity to make a really good impression. But yeah, man, Cam Sutton, junior season and senior season, was on a mission, and I'm glad you brought that up, Ben, because that has been Alontae Taylor. From a leadership standpoint, you can tell he has a sense of urgency. I don't know if coming back would serve him well as far as his on-field play. I don't know how deep the NFL draft is at corner. I don't know where Alontae sits as far as the pecking order inside of the SEC. I do know that he's going to have to answer the questions about the fluidity in his hips and his change of direction. He was hit with some double moves today. This year. He's going to have to answer for that in the drills at Indianapolis. He's going to have to answer for that at Pro Day here at Tennessee. But as far as the interview process, he's going to crush that. He has not had any major injuries at Tennessee. So the first day there at Indianapolis will be a breeze for him. So would it benefit him to come back for super senior season on the field? I don't really know that. I don't know where we could predict Alontae to be drafted, but the Senior Bowl is going to help him a lot. Going to help him in a big way for people to see him interact, see him compete, carry himself, and he's just going to have to make sure that he balls out.
That's not something that you can turn down, in my opinion.
No. He got to go. I would go, too, if I was him. Yeah, I would go if I was him, for sure. We'll take a quick timeout, and then when we come back, guys, I want to get to Cade Mays. On Tuesday, that was our second to last Tennessee Prime. We got one more Tennessee Prime. One more Tennessee Prime. And we're going to do that Tennessee Prime, not this Tuesday, but on another Tuesday closer to the bowl game. But Tuesday, Tennessee Prime with Jaquan Blakely, Cade Mays. And for Cade, what are these next couple weeks going to look like for the Knoxville native? We'll take a quick time out. Swain Event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Our first break of the day, our one hit, is brought to you by Killer Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Be right back.
Want to get in on the conversation? Call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
Hi there, Swain Event family. Are you in the market to purchase a home and a bit freaked out with the market right now? As someone who's been in your spot before, I'm familiar with what's going through your brain. And as a realtor, I've mastered the ins and outs of the buying process. When you work with me, you'll benefit from my experience, and together we'll work toward making sound, smart decisions for your future. And of course, talk a little Vol Sports along the way. Just give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com. Hope to hear from you soon.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
No, Ben need to get back to Alabama, get that Alabama energy. Feeling good, Ben? That you back home?
I agree that I need to leave the state. That is a fact, Jack. But I'm feeling great, ready to get back to Knoxville. Going to hit the road as soon as the show is over and go watch Tennessee whip up on Tennessee Tech in hoops this afternoon at Thompson Bowling, 3 Eastern on SEC Network Plus. So you folks that live out of state and can't make it to the game, you're going to have to stream it today. I know that can be frustrating, but just preparing you now, folks. You're going to have to stream it. And then let's watch Tennessee whip up on Vandy tomorrow. I can't wait for that.
Who's Tennessee playing tomorrow?
Vanderbilt.
Man, that was good, man. That might be your best one.
It's the juices and berries from the pies, you know. It gave me a little extra soul this morning.
Vanderbilt. Yeah. You're right. That must be the apples right there.
That turkey and the ham.
Yeah, that's right. Stokes, man. We gotta take care of business, man. Like listen, I know Tennessee's gonna win, right? Like Tennessee's gonna win. look at Vanderbilt. They're 2-9. They're terrible. I mean, they're awful. Now, they are playing their best football of the season. Take that for what it's worth.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are, right, Ben? I mean, they're playing their best football of the season, Ben Stokes, but it's still bad. It's like better bad.
So bad.
Better bad.
It's so bad.
I mean,
there's no reason that Tennessee shouldn't be able to get up big in this game early and just do what they've done all season. And, honestly, you could coast to a victory, but that's not Heupel's style, really. He likes to lay the hammer down and keep it there.
That's what I want. That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen, there ain't no reason to be saying the game maximums if you're not going to carry them out. Keep the fight there for 60 minutes. You carry the fight for 60 minutes. 60 minutes. It's about time to start living out these maximums.
That's what I want to see.
Huh?
60 minutes, 60 points. That's what I want to see.
Exactly. Now, Vanderbilt, they have not given up, a ton of points. Excuse me. They have not given up, 50 points too much this season. But I think the reason why, guys, is because teams beat them up so bad and they take their starters out and they run the clock out because they don't want to get anybody hurt. That's what I think. Because I think if teams really wanted to, they could have beat them a whole lot more. Like Florida beat them 42-0. They could have beat Vanderbilt by more probably. Georgia beat them 62-0. Now, I don't know what South Carolina was doing. They barely beat Vanderbilt, 21-20. Mississippi State, I watched some of that game. My goodness. And Mississippi State is playing around. It was a noon game. It was nobody in the crowd. They was playing around and still beat them 45-6. Kentucky playing around 34-17. Ole Miss playing around 31-17. But hey, maybe Vanderbilt's playing their best football of the season. Maybe Ole Miss wasn't ready for that Vandy black and gold attack. Maybe that's what it was. But I'm looking for.
They were ready for the Egg Bowl last night.
Ole Miss was ready for the Egg Bowl, that's for sure. Still, listen, man, they still on that BS, man. That flopping stuff and faking injuries. I couldn't even watch the game. I couldn't do it. Could not do it. That's not how you play football. I couldn't do it. I'd rather watch NFL. And I love college way more than NFL, but that's how much I detest the faking of injuries. But speaking of injuries, as I teased before the break, Cade Mays, guys, not going to play on Saturday. Tennessee's wearing all orange breeches.
Yes.
That's the way you do it right there, Ben, right?
Yes. I was very happy to see that Tennessee's wearing all orange because Stokes, I still have nightmares over, was it the 2013 seniors that chose to wear? No, it was the 15 or 16 because that's when the Smoky Grays were available, right?
Wait. I think you might be
right.
They
wore Smoky Grays in 13
because
they played. They wore them against Georgia that year,
and against Vandy because that's the point that I was bringing up. It was the ugly Smoky Grays. I wasn't a big fan of the Adidas Smoky Grays. I liked the Nike Smoky Grays. I was not a big fan of the Adidas ones. But Stokes, I still have nightmares of the seniors wearing Smoky Grays on senior day.
Yep, it was 13.
Yeah, that was bad. That whole game was bad. I mean, they wore an alternate, uniform on senior day, which I'm a huge proponent of. If the players want to do it, let the players do it from a uniform standpoint. So I'm not really going to knock them for that. I didn't like it on senior day, but that's what they wanted to do. That's what the seniors wanted to do. Whatever, cool, go do your thing. Except they didn't go out there and do their thing. That was the problem, is they went out there and got embarrassed. I remember the first offensive series of that game, Tennessee, under Butch Jones, that's a shotgun offense. They never went under center. So the first series of the game, they lined up under center to try to impose their will and play man football, and Vandy's D-line destroyed them. It was bad. Very, very bad. That whole game was ugly. No business losing that game. But hearing that they're doing all orange everything, except for the helmet, of course. This Saturday, it's going to be great. I'm very happy that that's what they decided. It's cool to have alternate uniforms and stuff like that, but also let's embrace tradition when it's time to embrace tradition.
Yeah. No, Stokes. I agree with everything you said except for, hey, the players want to do that. They can do that. They can do it every week except for senior day. You wear orange. That's it. No discussion. No discussion. You are wearing orange. Like, Ben, one day you'll experience this, but Stokes and I, we experience this every single day. There's times when you let your kids make their own decision. There's times when they don't make a decision that you make the decision. There's times like, hey, once a week, hey, kids, what you want for dinner? Pizza. Okay, kids, we'll listen to you today. We'll have pizza. You're the choice. But most of the time, you're going to eat what's on that damn table.
That's the dang truth.
You're going to eat what's on the table. And if you don't eat what's on the table, guess what, Stokes? What your mama and them tell you?
You ain't eating.
Exactly. You ain't eating. And Ben, I know you heard that too growing up.
Oh, yes. No dessert for you until you eat your food.
Yeah. You either eat what's cooked or you're not eating. You can take your butt to bed.
Oh, you not hungry right now? We'll wrap it up for you. It'll still be there in a couple hours when you get home.
That's the one that I got a lot. Well, we'll wrap it up. Put some foil over it. Put it in the fridge.
Oh yeah, you try to get slick. Oh, I don't want that. So I'll just wait till the next meal. No, they will wrap that food up, and your next meal will be what you suppose it ate the day before. So you eating this food.
Yeah, you pick to eat meatloaf for breakfast.
Yeah. Or lunch. You take a meatloaf to lunch. It's Pizza Friday, and all the kids, I got my pizza. What you got, little Stokes? Meatloaf. It's cold, too.
Little Stokes.
Cold meatloaf and cold peas and mashed potatoes. My mama said I had to eat it. She told the teacher if I get lunch, let her know if I was getting a whooping when I get home. Yeah, so, yeah, man. You there's a time when you got to tell kids what it's going to be like. You give them their freedom. But senior day, y'all wearing orange. Don't come to my office talking about some gray. Don't come to my office. You wearing orange. And good to see these boys rocking all orange. For Cade Mays, man, I don't know if we're going to see Cade Mays play at Tennessee again. Maybe last game was the last time. Have y'all thought about that?
I have, and I don't blame him. Like if he's battled injury, not really had the greatest time at Tennessee from a health standpoint, and really from a success standpoint. He's been good. Don't get me wrong. He's been one of our better offensive linemen for sure. And you love to have him out there, but I don't think things have gone the way he wanted them to go when he decided to transfer. So if he's ready to call it quits for college football and see what the next level has for him, more power to the young man. Don't risk further energy and hurting your draft stock or whatever you got there to play against Vanderbilt.
Yep.
Or to play in a bowl game.
Yep.
Get healthy and go get your money. You've earned it, man. That guy's earned it.
He has.
Yeah, and Stokes, he kind of has a built-in excuse, right, to not play in the bowl game. And I completely think that Cade should not play in the bowl game. Quite frankly, there's just no need to on a bum ankle that's given him problems all year long. There's no need to risk further injury and potentially not necessarily ruin, but negatively impact your draft stock. There's just no need to do so. He has, in my opinion, given his all for Tennessee in the 2 years that he has been here. He's been a nice leader along the Tennessee offensive line this season. He's been a positive influence in the locker room for Tennessee, and he's played excellent football in doing so. So I think that he's given what he can give to Tennessee, and it's time for him to move on to the next level.
Right, and depending on the type of ankle injury it is, I mean that takes time, and you can't do anything with it while it's healing.
Yep. And guys, he was in a boot on Tuesday, so
a boot,
which should be very telling because they have not been in boots.
He was in a boot, man. He was in a boot, so definitely not playing this weekend. And like you mentioned, Ben, he has an out to not play in the bowl game to get his ankle 100% healthy. And this is the time of year where coaches tell on themselves. This is the time of year where coaches, it's time for you to do right by the players. And it's a tough position for the players to be in, too, because you want to finish what you started. You don't want to not play and leave your brothers out there to play in a game because you're thinking about yourself. But at the same time, you have to. At some point, you got to think about yourself. And this is that time for Cade Mays. And how we handle Cade Mays and doing right by Cade Mays can positively or affect the program for the next 3 or 4 years of recruiting. Because guys talk. You have to handle Cade with care. I don't think it's going to be a problem at all because Tennessee's playing Vanderbilt and, Tennessee's going to play in a bowl game. And, even without Cade against Ole Miss, Tennessee was able to hold their own, didn't run the ball like we wanted to, but, you were 1 inch away from a Cedric Tillman touchdown pass and winning that game. You competed your butt off. So with multiple weeks of practice versus the bowl opponent, you should be okay without Cade Mays, to be honest. But it's time for Tennessee to do right by Cade. Not saying that Tennessee won't, but these are the times when, how you treat a player in this situation could help or hurt your program and the view of the coach. I'm just saying. You trying to lie to a player, trying to get him to come back. You're trying to get a player to have surgery when they don't need it to try to get them to come back. These are all things that have happened, okay? What happens is the player tells the guys that are currently on the team, yo, this is what the coach tried to do, man. Try to get me to sabotage me to come back. This is what they're doing to my draft stock. This is what they said to the scouts. And then that's when you have players on the current team start looking at the coach sideways. The trust starts to go away. And over time, the culture is affected. And over time, guys not playing like they should be playing for a coach. So little small moments like this mean a lot. And I'm pretty sure that Josh Heupel and company will handle this thing the right way because Cade does have a built-in excuse with the injury. Not saying this is necessarily an excuse, but it just makes it a whole lot easier to do the right thing if you are Tennessee. Just easier.
I agree 100%.
Just easier, man. What's more surprising, guys? James Franklin staying at Penn State or Luke Fickell possibly staying at Cincinnati? What'll be more surprising?
Probably Luke Fickell, honestly. James Franklin at Penn State. I mean, he's got a big time program there. Like you can win big at Penn State. Cincinnati, that's going to be a program that I think this is going to be the ceiling this year. I don't think he's going to be able to do any better than he's done this year. And if he were to stay at Cincinnati, maybe he's just comfortable and his kids enjoy the area and his wife enjoys the area and all that stuff. And he'd want to stay because of that, because I mean, the pressure is low at Cincinnati, but I think, the competitor in him was going to want to prove himself at a larger spot in a better conference. So I think Fickell staying would be the bigger surprise to me. Franklin, with that contract extension, that to me, that's not all that surprising. I mean, that's Penn State should fork out money for a quality coach, and he can win there. Like that's a program that can win. It used to win. There's pedigree there. So yeah, Fickell would be the surprise for me.
Yeah, I'm with Stokes on this one, and for the same exact reason. And Swain, I don't know about you, but I kind of see Luke Fickell going the Billy Napier route, and I guess Matt Campbell too, coaches that are the talk of college football during the coaching carousel, but they don't ever take a job. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Luke Fickell maybe stick around longer than we would initially think, just because he is one of those hot names in the coaching carousel. I see him being a great fit at Notre Dame if Brian Kelly ever decides to leave or do something. So I kind of wonder whether he's essentially holding out for that, which I don't know if it's a smart move to ever hold out and wait on somebody else to dictate your career move. But I guess my point is that I think it'll be that type of job opening that's going to take Fickell to leave Cincinnati. Maybe I'm wrong, but I just kind of see him as a Big Ten football type of guy, and maybe that's my fault for pigeonholing him into something that's not true. But I just see him as kind of a Notre Dame Big Ten type of guy, and I mean, there's only a handful of jobs that you would necessarily leave for, in my opinion, and that's Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, and I mean, those jobs don't really look like they're opening up anytime soon. So I would agree with Stokes. I think it's Fickell and Swain. I think what the James Franklin contract extension taught me is that James Franklin and all of those sound bites over the last month or two that we've talked about ad nauseum were him trying to make it appear that he was leaving so he could drive up the asking price when it came time for contract extension.
Yeah, maybe that's the case. I think Mel Tucker helped James Franklin get that big contract because when you look at both coaching resumes, James Franklin has a better resume. What he's done at Vanderbilt, what he's done at Penn State, and for Mel Tucker to just be coaching for a few years, going to Colorado for a little bit, then coming to Michigan State, having a good start, and then getting blown out the way they did against Ohio State. That talk of the 10-year, $95 million deal was being tossed around even before that game. And then they decided to go ahead and move forward even after the blowout. I mean, getting a $100 put on you at halftime, they still went and did it. I think for James Franklin, that helped his case even more to be paid big dollars by Penn State. Man, for me, man, I kind of want to lean towards James Franklin here. And the reason why I want to lean towards James Franklin is because y'all remember last year's coaching search with Tennessee?
How could we forget?
You remember? James Franklin was in the mix quietly. So James Franklin was looking to leave, or at least willing to listen, last year. Last year he was willing to leave. And then this year with the question that was just a direct question, and he went on the sidebar answering it, felt like that, yeah, he was going to leave. Like, it's actually very surprising that James Franklin is staying put with Florida Open, LSU Open, and USC Open, because he's more proven than Luke Fickell. Like, those schools would pay him big dollars to come in if he probably shown interest, or more likely to pay him big dollars. Whereas Luke Fickell, yeah, he's winning in Cincinnati, but can he do it at those big programs? Well, James Franklin has more of a track record of winning at a high level at multiple programs, including a big program like Penn State. Luke Fickell is from Ohio. He went to Ohio State. He is coaching in Ohio. His family is in Ohio. These are things that have been documented and talked about, that Luke Fickell just loves Ohio. So I'm not necessarily surprised that he is staying. Now, he's not going to have another Ritter anytime soon at quarterback. So this is kind of the ceiling, I think, for Cincinnati. Like you mentioned, Stokes. This is the ceiling. But like I mentioned on Monday, guys, there's some coaches, man, it's not about going to the big-time programs. It's not about coaching in the SEC. Sometimes we think that every coach wants to be in the SEC, just like we think that everyone just wants to be rich. There's some folks that just don't value money that way. They rather just be happy, and they'll be modest. Now, if they win the lottery, they ain't gonna give it back. But like the pursuit to be rich for some people is not a priority like for others. And for some head coaches, man, coaching in the SEC in a big time program, that's not what it's about for them. It's about being in a place, being happy, being respected. The quality of life is sometimes even more important than the dollar sign. Just ask Dan Mullen, who looked miserable in his last year at Florida. So I'm actually surprised James Franklin is staying put more than I am surprised about Luke Fickell.
Anybody who loves the state of Ohio is someone who probably just doesn't like nice things.
I mean, I haven't seen the sunshine of Ohio on TV. I haven't seen the shine when I was there a couple of years ago, well, a while ago, when I was in, Columbus doing a combine. I have not seen the Browns game where it was sun, the sun was shining outside. I haven't seen the sunshine in any parts of Ohio on TV.
Anybody
in person?
Yeah, anybody I've spoken to that has moved from Ohio could not wait to get out of Ohio and does nothing but talks about how miserable of a state it is.
Hey, Dave Chappelle decided in all of the 50 states he can choose from that he wanted to live in Ohio, which is weird. John Legend is from Ohio. The R&B singer is from Ohio, and I don't think he's been back since leaving.
Nope.
So Luke Fickell and Dave Chappelle got something in common, I guess. 865-255-03, Irish Networks hotline. Seth Stokes, Ben McKee, Jason Swain here. Tico on the text box, guy, says fake injuries, make them sit out for a full quarter. If they are really hurt, they won't come back for a full quarter anyway. This has to stop. Is that a little severe? Yes, it's a little severe. But I understand where you're coming from, Tico. I am sick and tired of it as well. Did you guys watch a lot of the Egg Bowl?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I watched the vast majority of that game.
Same.
I didn't watch it, guys. I told you earlier in the show. I couldn't do it. Was it worse than Tennessee?
No.
It wasn't worse than Tennessee because Mississippi State's offense was struggling to find any kind of a rhythm. But the couple of times that they did, the injuries started to happen. Every time Mississippi State crossed the 50, here come the injuries. And there was one really, really egregious one. Right before the half, Mississippi State's driving. It's a 10-3 game at that point, I believe. Ole Miss was up, or it might have been 6-3. I don't remember.
10-3.
But I know Mississippi State was driving. 10-3. Okay. State was driving. They're in the red zone. They're on like the 5-yard line, if I'm not mistaken. And everybody's good. Ole Miss players are looking over at the sideline, getting the defensive calls, and then you see one of the D linemen just kind of nod his head and then grab his left leg and fall down.
Was that the one where the guy next to him was like, "You talking to me? You want me to fall down?"
Right.
Yeah, I saw that.
It was the one everybody was tweeting about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Yeah, go look at Barrett Sallee's Twitter. He's got a funny one about it. But then after that, Mississippi State, that was the game essentially. Mississippi State dropped 3 touchdown passes in a row and missed a field goal and went into the half down and never really recovered.
Yeah, but Stokes, I didn't know. I'll be curious to hear your take on. I thought everybody was incorrectly blaming or pointing to the fake injury as to why Mississippi State did not score before the half when Mississippi State dropped 3 touchdowns and missed a field goal. So, I know the fake injury was annoying, but State didn't score because of State.
Correct. State blew that opportunity, but do they blow that opportunity if they're able to keep in rhythm where they had been instead of dealing with that?
The way they were playing last night, I'm inclined to think so.
yeah, it was a rough. They peed down their leg. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
I don't know how they dropped those touchdown passes either. I mean, hit them in the hands. And one of the dudes that dropped the touchdown pass, maybe two plays earlier, caught a miraculous ball to put him in that position.
Yes.
It was.
Stokes, who did you find yourself rooting for during the game?
I don't ever really have a true rooting interest in that game. I just always think it's a fun, exciting game to watch because it's usually bonkers. But I was definitely this year pulling for Mike Leach and Mississippi State.
Yes, so was I. I was sitting there with my pretend cowbell, clanging away. I was all in on rooting against Lane last night. I was pretty emotional during the game. I mean, I was all in on rooting against Lane last night.
And then Lane's silly butt wants to come out in the post-game press conference after having them fake all those injuries and doing it all season long and complain about how it's unfair and how Mississippi State's cheating with the cowbells.
Yeah, man, shut up, Lane. They've been doing it for decades, man.
Right.
Decades. I don't want to hear nothing from Lane.
Exactly.
Tell me this, guys. I'm about to play an audio clip, and I want y'all just to tell me your reactions. This is Santi or Santi for Tennessee.
Santa Claus.
And just tell me what you guys think. Just want to know y'all's thoughts on this. Just tell me what you think.
With Vescovi, and I've always roll with it.
Turn it up for you guys. Go back, play it again.
With Vescovi, and I've always roll with it. I don't really care either way. I think that's just easier for English people to pronounce it. Back home it would be Vescovi, the accent would be on the first E instead of the O, like people say here. But I don't really care. I can go either one. Since I've gotten here, everybody call me Vescovi, so, and I'm totally cool with it. So just to clarify that, I don't really care. I had a lot of people reaching out to me asking me how to pronounce my last name, and I'm like, I really don't care. Just, especially for the close people, the people that are closer to me, I was like, just call me Santi. That's it.
It's something Jared Grantano did.
With Vescovi.
Guys, do y'all hear a little East Tennessee in that boy's voice?
Oh yeah.
I hear a little East Tennessee in that voice, man. Ben, is it me or do you hear a little East Tennessee in Santi? I'll go.
Oh, I heard it. I heard the little East Tennessee in Santi, or as Tennessee basketball's Twitter account is now calling him, Bob Scovey. I heard it in Bob Scovey's voice, and that's what I will now be referring to Santi as. It's either Santi or Bob Scovey, one or the other. But I would tell Santi, the main thing I took away from that video, Swain, is I would encourage and tell Santi to care what people call you. I understand him trying to be polite and kind of, just it being what it is and it not being a big deal to him. But I think it is a big deal. It's your last name. It's who you represent. It's where you come from. So that was kind of my takeaway, honestly. And that's what I would encourage Santi to do is hey, bro, it's your name. You're representing your culture, your people. You should want it pronounced correctly.
Stokes?
He should. And he should have told us how to pronounce it correctly when he first got here.
Yes.
We aren't idiots like certain announcers like to think. If you tell us how to pronounce your name early, that's how we're going to pronounce it, unless we don't like you in the sense of, what Konzo had to endure. But if you're balling, Tennessee fans are going to call you by the correct name, or they're going to call you something cool, something funny, going to come with a nickname for you. But it's all going to be in love. But let's see, the mistake that was made that was him not correcting it from the jump.
Yeah. No, you guys are right. that's just funny that he just doesn't care what people call him, either or. Which hey, he is a nice dude. Like he's very accommodating. You can tell that he don't do drama. Like you can tell he one of those
He's
guys.
not trying to rock the boat.
He's right. That's right. He's one of those guys. Like if he got a lady friend, and the moment she complains about not spending enough time together, he's like, peace out. It's basketball, baby. Basketball's first. I got to shoot these threes. The moment she complains, he's cutting her off. Like, he's that type of dude. I can just tell. He don't do drama at all. He would not be good on Twitter. He would not be good on social media. I can just tell. That's not him. And I agree with you guys. Like, especially Ben. Like, man, I think he should care what people call him. But, hey, it makes it easier for us because now we can continue to call him Vescovi, or if you want to call him this, pronounce it the same way that people back home for him pronounce it, then you can say Vescovi. Which way are you guys going with this? Now that we know the proper way and we know that he don't care either way, which way are you guys going? What are you going to call him moving forward?
I mean, if his last name is pronounced Vescovi, then we're going to call him Vescovi because that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. Just tell us from the jump, man. Don't have us out here on social media trying to defend you against an announcer we think is saying it wrong just to have him call us idiots. Yeah. Granted, if people had listened from the start of the broadcast or had done a little bit of digging before before they took to Twitter to try to massacre him online, they would have known that he said, this is what I was told to call him. Granted, he got to be professional. Look, people's going to come at you on social media. That's just part of the game of being in the national spotlight. You are going to get come for. And when that happens, you got to be able to ignore it.
Yeah, that's a great piece of advice right there. I agree 100% with you. 100%. All right, guys, moving right along. Let me check out the text box. Chip Payne says, yeah, Santy, stand up and say it with your chest. Tell us your name. I agree with you, Chip. It's all good. We still love you. We just preferred you told us at the beginning, and we can handle it. We can handle it. Like, we can practice. If we can handle Tua Tagovailoa, we can handle your name. We can handle it.
Right.
Now say the Clemson quarterback's name, Swain.
DJ Uyungale. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, baby.
Good enough.
It only took November the 26th to say it right.
Well, he doesn't deserve to have his last name pronounced correctly at this point.
Well, we don't cover Clemson. We don't talk about him every single day. So, like, if we were, Santy, we would have got this down by at least a week. A week.
All right. Well, then now say the new Frenchman on the basketball team's name.
Huh?
Quentin. Say his last name.
Dubunje. Is that right?
Say it again.
Dubunje.
You give a little flair on it.
Dubunje.
Dubunje.
Which
you had
one
it right
is
the
it?
first time.
Which one is it, Ben?
The first way you said it.
Why are you laughing then?
You just sound funny saying it.
Oh, man. Don't be hating on me, man.
He's setting you up for failure.
Yeah, don't be hating on me laughing like he was wrong. I'm gonna find out how to say our own player's name right. Because we could have done that with Santy. That's all I'm saying. Santy, excuse me. I keep wanting to call him Santy I want to call him Santy Claus.
Look, just keep distributing the ball well, keep making threes, and we'll call you whatever you want us to call you.
Yeah. Vol from Charlotte says, as being a Mississippi State alumni, having to watch that twice a year, I was sick. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. LC Vol says Leach has lost his last 9 Apple Cups and Egg Bowls. So when it comes to rivalry games, according to LC Vol, Leach has not had his teams playing at a high level. And games like that wear on boosters, man. That wears on the fan base right there. When you lose rivalry games, he's a good coach. And Mississippi State, lucky to have him, but still, man. Whew. All right, Stokes. Time for seconds, leftovers. I'll let you get to it today. And thanks for the time, my friend. Thanks for the time. Always appreciate it. Having a good time. We had to set up a different lineup here or set up here because Ben's in Huntsville and you are in South Carolina. So it worked out, man. It worked out. Everything's good. It worked out.
Hey, this truly is a Southeastern Conference type show. We are all over it.
We really are, man. We really are. Well, my friend Stokes.
It just means more in the Swain event.
It just means more, except when it's time to officiate.
Right.
If we are officiating, then no promises. We can't promise anything. We can't promise any type of accuracy. Nope. So, all right, Stokes, man. Nope. Appreciate the time, man. Have a good one.
Y'all have a great weekend, man. Much love.
Seth Stokes. Ben got me over here pushing all these buttons. I'm over here dealing with 3 different mice. Not like real mice, but like mouses. But mice is plural for mouses. But I'm over here dealing with 3 different ones because being selfish, want to spend time with family and stuff. Ugh. What about the Swain event, Ben? What about the listeners?
I woke up at 5:30 to do the Swain event today.
It's 6:30. Your body says 6:30. Don't even try it.
I've been here too long. No. I've been here longer than 48 hours. It's adjusted.
It is 6:30. You've been in Knoxville for years and years and years. Your body's still on Eastern time. It's 6:30 when you woke up. And you actually got some more sleep because when you're here, you got to get up earlier.
Well, that would have been true if you had not been texting my phone.
New phone, who's this? Yeah, I texted you. It wasn't that early. I think it was like 6:25 here when I texted you to see if you was up.
Yeah, I mean, you texted me about the time that I had my alarm set for, so it wasn't. And honestly, I didn't even hear your text until I looked at my phone to cut the alarm.
Good. So it worked out. That's good. That is great. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. We will take a quick time out. You got touchdown turnover. You got Attaboy. Lots to get to this morning. 865-255-03. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss PRP, platelet-rich plasma. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
Good to be back, Jason. We specialize in non-surgical orthopedics, so we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints, including rotator cuff injuries, knee injuries, and elbow and foot problems by using ultrasound-guided injections with PRP. And this form of treatment helps stimulate the body's own reparative process and assist in the healing of damaged tissue.
Doc, what makes your training different than others?
I've been practicing in Knoxville for over 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. They've been the leader in this form of treatment since 1983. I also teach this form of treatment on a national and international basis to other physicians, residents, and medical students. Here in our clinic, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own PRP, which are concentrated platelets, to treat your injury. So in other words, Jason, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Do what the pros, college athletes, and I have done, and visit them online at trsportsmedicine.com. Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, East Tennessee's leader in PRP therapy. Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do, though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself, but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
At Iris Networks, we know that business communication solutions are critical to your success. Since 1998, we've been helping businesses in East Tennessee by providing reliable and affordable high-speed fiber internet and voice solutions. That's why Iris Networks is your Tennessee communications partner. With internet speeds up to 100 gigs and work-from-anywhere solutions like mobile apps, video conferencing, and file sharing, we make sure you can stay connected to your customers and great communities we live and work in. Iris Networks, because just like you, Tennessee is our home.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Hope you are having a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday weekend. It starts today. Ben McKee is back visiting his old home in Huntsville, Alabama. I am right here live in the Lowe T Center studio in beautiful Knoxville, Tennessee. It is an amazing, amazing morning as the sun started to rise in the 6 o'clock hour. It is beautiful each and every day here in East Tennessee. It is time for Around the SEC. And Ben, what do you have for us today?
Several things that I would like to mention, and after I mention the headlines, I will ask you your thoughts on this weekend's game, Swain. But first, I want to start with some sad news, and that is that longtime SEC writer Cecil Hurt passed away on Wednesday, I believe it was. Aaron Suttles shared the news on Twitter. Aaron Suttles covers Alabama for The Athletic, and he said that it's with sadness and heartbreak that I relay the news that Cecil Hurt has passed today. Please pray for Cecil's family and friends and the many who loved him dearly. I love and miss you, friend. And Cecil had been in the hospital at UAB for quite some time, battling pneumonia with some other underlying health issues. So thoughts and prayers to his family. Cecil was always very kind in my interactions with him. He was a friend of the Swain Event, had made an appearance on the Swain Event multiple times, I believe, Swain, and just a big loss in the SEC football, SEC athletics community.
Yeah, I mean, this one, I mean, it shocked the living daylights out of me, man. One of the best follows on Twitter when it comes to covering SEC football. Was always very candid, was always funny. It was a great follow. And golly, man,
he was indeed. Moving on to some more positive notes, and these are more so college football notes. We discussed the James Franklin news and that he received a 10-year contract to remain as the head coach through 2031. And Swain, I tell you what, James Franklin got paid, absolutely paid with a big-time contract extension, and I agree with you. I think Mel Tucker getting a contract extension helped significantly, but he signed a 10-year, $70 million plus extension with Penn State, and he is going to be well compensated. He wasn't the only coach this week to receive a contract extension. Hugh Freeze over at Liberty also received a contract extension, and he is now set to be the Liberty coach through 2028. And that is according to Chris Lowe of ESPN, who, as Swain mentioned at the top of the show, will join the Swain event this morning to discuss the coaching carousel in college football. But Hugh Freeze gets a contract extension through 2028, and he will be paid an average of more than $4 million per season after the contract extension.
What's crazy, Ben, is Mel Tucker is getting 10 years, $9.5 million, and James Franklin's getting 10 years, $75 million. So it means a $2 million difference, and James Franklin's a better coach.
Yes,
he's a better coach. So you are worth as much as someone's willing to pay you. That's the lesson.
Yep, it is. We've got some breaking news here this morning, Swaino. Speaking of around the SEC.
What you got?
Tiyon Evans has entered the transfer portal. According to his Twitter account, just posted a message 4 minutes ago. It says, "All love Rocky Top," and he attached a graphic with it that says, "First of all, I want to thank the Lord above for blessing me with the ability to do what I love. Secondly, to the Vol Nation, I thank each and every one of you for the undying support that you give. That itself will last with me forever. I want to thank Coach Heupel and his staff for giving me a chance here at UT to be a Vol when he got the position, and throughout this journey, I have made some friendships that will last a lifetime. To all my brothers, love." After praying to God and giving myself time to think on what's best for me and my family, I've decided to enter the transfer portal and weigh my options. So, not completely shocking news, but some big news nonetheless this morning, Swain.
Okay. I mean, we knew that Tiyon Evans wouldn't be back, but to do this the Friday before the team plays against Vanderbilt, yeah, I ain't a big fan of that. I ain't a big fan of that at all. It's a distraction. And listen, I hope he's successful. I saw a couple days ago where he was doing a NIL deal for a local company, and now he's leaving. So I don't know how powerful that commercial is going to be. You look at Alontae Taylor and the cookie company that he is partnered with, and that cookie company's owner has said that sales have increased by like 25-30%. 25-30%. That's how you do it. Look at Alontae Taylor. Look at how he carries himself. That tells me a lot about Tiyon Evans right there, man. And it ain't pleasant. It ain't pleasant. The Friday before a game, before the last game of the season, this is when we put this out?
At 7 a.m.?
You couldn't wait?
Or it's 7 a.m. here, 8 a.m. there.
You couldn't wait? You couldn't wait till the game was over? Till the regular season was over? This is what we doing? Hey, man, good luck. I enjoy watching him play. He put his name on the map. There was times where I thought he was the best running back on this squad, but you're only as good as your availability. He's a talent. He is a talent. But take a page out of Alvin Kamara's book. when there's a reason why guys go JUCO. There's a reason. Alvin learned from his experience. He learned and got better and matured. Use that opportunity to grow, mature, be better. Doing this the day before a game? No, man. No. He's too talented. Each and every year, we see it all around the country. We see it here. Some dudes don't understand what it takes to make it at the NFL level. And they think that just because they have some skills that you can move how you want to move. No. There's a certain way that you have to move and handle your business. This is not it. This is not it. When I was in school, guys I thought would just be easy picks in the league. Guys that I knew, watching them in practice, ball out. Watching them in the games, ball out. But they didn't handle business the right way. It's the reason why they're not playing in the league. And even to this day, it's the reason why some of those guys are not in the position that they want to be in real life. It's a way you handle business. It's about being mature, being professional. You have to be a professional in your mind and carry yourself like a professional even before you become a professional. One of my favorite players right now is Mac Jones, quarterback at New England.
Did you say Andy Dalton? Is that what you just said?
Oh, I'm going to get to him later. But Mac Jones, this is when I put all of my my school allegiance to the side because this is more important. This is bigger. And me and my cousin was talking about this yesterday. Mac Jones was committed to another school, got an offer from Alabama, committed to Alabama, while Jalen Hurts is on campus. He gets here. He plays behind Jalen Hurts. He plays behind Tua Tagovailoa. He's still waiting his turn. He doesn't transfer. It's about the bigger picture. They go sign Bryce Young, doesn't flinch. Bryce Young sits behind him. When it's Mac Jones' time, he handles his business. There's not a surprise that Mac Jones is doing what he's doing right now for the Patriots. Mac Jones, when the Patriots played Tampa Bay, he outplayed Tom Brady. Listen, I ain't saying he's better than Tom Brady, but in that game, he outplayed Tom Brady. He's not a normal rookie. Why? It's because he handled himself like a professional even before he became one. He handled himself like a starter even before he became a starter at Alabama. So when it was time for him to be a starter, he seized the moment. College athletes, some of them just don't understand what it takes. They just don't get it. They don't. This is why every once in a while I get the itch to be like, man, I wish I was coaching. Or man, I wish I was in a role at Tennessee so I can spit some of this to that in their ear. But I'm pretty sure there's guys around there saying the same stuff. But at the end of the day, guys, they don't listen. This is a terrible look. This is a terrible look, man. The day before game, this woman dropping it. Really?
Yeah, not a great look.
Really?
Yeah. Not a great look, and I think a lot of people are going to be asking why. And Swain, I don't know about you, but I don't think that there's one exact reason why. I think there were a lot of contributing factors. I don't know that he was the best culture fit, quite honestly. I think that he needed to maybe handle his business a little bit better away from the football facility and possibly in the classroom. I think that his ankle was a contributing factor in him being banged up. I think there were many reasons why this decision is being made, Swain.
Yeah. The ankle is not the reason, but I think it's a small reason. And I ain't gonna, it's not our job to be putting these players' business out there like that, and it's theirs, it's private, but that's why I kept it vague by saying handling your business the right way. Just you got to handle your business the right way, period. And it hurts when I see guys don't do it with all the talent. And then it really hurts me to see guys that come from JUCO and not seize the moment, seize the opportunity. This is why I got so much love and respect for a guy like Alvin Kamara. And the only reason he went to JUCO is because he wanted to be able to go back to SEC school if he wanted to. That's the only reason. I remember when Cam Clear got in trouble at Tennessee, stole from a teammate, and transferred. But he went to a JUCO first, so he can be able to come back to the SEC if he wanted to. This is before the transfer rules was implemented. But it's just the way you handle business, man. And it's the way you do things, it's the way you don't do things. This is not it to me. This is not it to me. I'm going to tell you how I feel, but I ain't going to run over the kid and throw him under the bus too much. But this ain't it. It's Friday, the day before a season finale game. This is not it. And I knew, we knew that he was not going to be back, and we've been talking in code for our listeners for weeks now. But, I was not expecting today to be the day that this thing is dropped on his, Twitter account. I guess maybe I'm being too hard, but I don't think so. This ain't it. 865-255-03. So now if you're Tennessee, there's no doubt that you're selling playing time to your running backs. This is a great time for a guy like Justin Williams to come to Tennessee. There's carries. There's carries available. There's carries available for young players. Wright got carries. He's a freshman. I call him a freshman. He's a freshman. I mean, there's carries available. But carries are available to guys that do things the right way all the time. And we've seen with other position groups, if you ain't doing things right, you won't be counted on. Trust is a big factor. Let me get up out of there. Let me move on.
Well, I think the running back position will also be attractive in the transfer portal as well, Swain. If Tennessee chooses to go that direction, because you do return Jabari Small and Jalen Wright, and I feel good about that duo going into next season. But as we have seen this year, you need 3-4 running backs to make it through the season. And, I think Lenith Whitehead has shown some things at times this year. Obviously, he's not the fastest guy, but he's made plays when he's been in the game. But the problem is that they haven't been necessarily plays against Alabama, Florida, or Georgia. They've been plays against Missouri and South Alabama and those type of teams. And, Justin Williams coming in, like you mentioned, assuming he does end up picking Tennessee, I think Tennessee is as in great of a spot as they can be with Justin Williams. He'll be at Auburn this weekend for the Iron Bowl, and as I mentioned earlier in the week, you always get a little nervous anytime Auburn enters a recruitment, but Tennessee's still in as great of a position as possible. But my point in mentioning Laneith Whitehead and Justin Williams is, do you truly feel comfortable with them being your number 3 back next year? Do you feel comfortable with those two guys being your kind of 3A, 3B? And if so, then maybe adding a running back through the portal isn't as high of a priority, because I think every position on this roster, you can make a case, needs to be upgraded in the transfer portal this offseason. So Tennessee's going to have to do some decision making and prioritizing positions over other positions. And I can see running back being a position that kind of takes the back seat to other positions, just depending on what it is. But I think the running back room, for what you said about carries being available, could be very attractive if the right running back presents itself in the transfer portal.
Oh, boy. This is our listeners here on the text box. Middle Tennessee Rick, I did not expect him to enter the transfer portal. There were rumors he might go to the NFL. A lot of folks are confused on the text box. And if you listen to the show every day, I'm going to try to jog your memory and put two and two together, and hopefully you'll be like, Ben and I had a conversation a couple of days ago about Tiyon Evans. And we had a caller call in and bring up his NFL chances. And I was like, it may not be the NFL of why he is not going to be playing for Tennessee next year. And the reason why we did it that way is because it's his right to put out information about his future first. And if he wants to transfer and go to another school, because remember, we put that on the table as well. He's like, there's a couple things that can happen here. He can come back, and remember how I talked about how taking advantage of the NIL could be really good for him, considering he has a child, and it's best to come back, handle things the right way, do things the right way, take advantage of the NIL, make money there, be able to take care of his kids, stuff like that, instead of just flying to the NFL just because you have a kid, thinking that, that's the solution, where he didn't play a lot this year. So his film is, it's a short highlight video. And then we put the third option was him, going somewhere else. And I remember we said this, Ben. I said, if you go somewhere else, you still got to do things the right way too. You still got to go to class, still got to, handle business.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter what happens between the three scenarios, you still got to handle business at the end of the day. And I said that, and we couldn't really go any further on that, but we said that because we kind of knew that this was a possibility. Did not think he would release this on a freaking Friday before the game, but that's why. And so there's just some times when it's just not our place to step over that line and in that moment say, Tiyon Evans is probably going to transfer to another school. That just wasn't the time. It wasn't right. But that was always on the table. Let's go to the phones. 865-255-03. Good morning. Who do we have with us?
It's Justin in Florida.
Justin in Florida. Man, good morning.
You guys have a good Thanksgiving for yourself?
It was too good. It was too good. You driving up to Knoxville to come see us?
Unfortunately, I'm done making that drive for a little while. Georgia game was the last time I made that trip. Too long of a drive, I can tell you right now.
I understand.
So, hey, one thing I got to definitely give you guys credit for, and you kind of just alluded it. You really got to pay attention when listening to this show, and you got to pay attention to all the little words that are said and not said, and potentially hinted at, because man, you can miss a lot.
Yep.
But with regards to Tiyon Evans, I always liked the kid as a talent. I know the previous staff was really, really super big on him, and it's it's really unfortunate that he leaves in general. Because I think in this offense we all kind of saw the potential. I'm going to hesitate to say I wish him the best of luck, because it would not surprise me at all to see him wind up in the SEC. And, as long as he's not on our schedule, I wish him the best of luck. But second he pops up there, sorry. One thing I will ask, I don't know if this is a conversation to be had yet, would you consider the 2020 recruiting class a bust at this point, considering where it was rated and the amount of transfers that we've had leave?
Key Lawrence, Omar Thomas, Harrison Bailey, Malachi Wadman, Tyler Barron, Jalen Hyatt, Jimmy Callaway, Lenith Whitehead, Dominic Bailey, Morgan Joseph, Cooper Mays, Brian Eason, Martavius French, D. Beckwith, Nico Slaughter, Jimmy Holiday, Javonte Spraggins, Tamarion McDonald, Jabari Small, R.J. Perry, James Robinson, T. Hodge, Will Albright.
I guess it depends on what your
I'm
definition of
impressed
a
you
bust
did that
is.
from memory.
I'm reading it.
You pulled that from memory? I'm impressed.
Yeah, man, from memory. Yeah, it was straight from memory. No, I'm reading off the list right here, man. I'm quick on the Google, man. When you said
what website you using, huh?
Because I gotta believe that there's, and I have no way. I'm just guessing by sheer playing time at this point that there's probably going to be some more guys that potentially leave, just because this may not be a great fit. So you start going back and looking at that class. I mean, there's definitely some guys that are contributing. There's some guys that are playing great right now. There are some guys that are still developing right now. But I mean, in whole, that's a lot of talent that's not in this program anymore.
Key Lawrence is not here. Harrison Bailey's not here. Malachi Wadman's not here. Jimmy Callaway ain't done anything since the Pitt game. Hasn't played since the Florida game at wide receiver. Lenith Whitehead is, he's getting carries.
Yeah, he's developing.
Yeah. Dominic Bailey. Morgan Joseph. Cooper Mays is playing. Brian Eason.
And that class was ranked what again nationally?
It depends on what site you're looking at, Justin. Ben, you got that answer?
My point is it was ranked pretty high nationally.
It was 10th.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It was top 10 class.
According to who, Swain?
Top 10 class, according to the recruiting site I'm looking at.
Yeah. So
traitor.
Hey, man. Listen, I Googled 2020 recruiting class, and 247 came up first. Tell your boys to pay more money for Google AdSense.
I think it's because you use 247 more, you traitor.
Hey, man, I got love for everybody, man. No, man. Yeah, woo-hoo.
Hey, Rivals had that class ranked 8th. I thought you'd like to go with the one that had
all right,
it higher.
So I'm hearing 8th.
No, man, I don't want it to be 8 because it looks worse.
You don't want to claim it in this instance?
Nah, man, it makes me even more sad about it. No, man, I want the worst.
No, but Swain, now wait a minute. You always say you're going to go with the one that's ranked the highest.
Get him.
Get him. When we are at signing day and we're trying to make a point that Tennessee has done a good job in recruiting, I'm going with the highest. In this case, I want to go with the lowest because we got guys leaving and not doing anything.
Oh, so we moved the goalpost now on the Swain event. I got you.
We move it just like a Dr. Pepper commercial.
All right. Well, I'm gonna hop off the phone, listen to you guys, but yeah, it's unfortunate. I definitely, I think the timing of that announcement was that's my biggest question mark. I mean, I think he was definitely it wasn't who was it? It was a former player. Was it Hainsworth that had a comment something about we're going to lose one of the best running backs or something? That was the other thing I saw on Twitter. So I mean, I figured he was going. I didn't think it was an NFL route, but who knows at this point? Again, if he winds up in the ACC, Big Ten, whatever, I wish him the best of luck. But if he ends up at Missouri or South Carolina, yeah,
that's fine. Aaron Beasley will pop him in the chest next year. Jeremy Banks will let him go.
I want Jeremy Banks. I want Jeremy Banks downhill with a full head of steam on that one. So,
well, the good news is,
guys have a great day.
All right, see you, Justin.
I say this in as nice a way as possible, Swain. No disrespect, but I don't think if Tiyon Evans went to another SEC school, Tennessee would necessarily have to worry about playing against him because he can't stay on the field anyways because of his bum ankle.
Well, there's a couple reasons of a couple things he has to make sure that he gets better at to stay on the field. And so, we'll see if he's able to do it, if he wants to stay in the conference, if he wants to leave the conference. I'll be surprised if he is not playing in this conference, but I just hope he matures, man. I really do. I just don't want to see guys, squander opportunities because this is the golden years. This is the opportunity for you to set yourself up for the next 40 years and beyond. And so I just hope he takes advantage of it. But this is a bad look to do this, little announcement today. But Justin brings up a good point, man. Like this class, this 2020 class, ooh, boy.
Can we not spend the Friday after Thanksgiving talking about that, please?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, I got you. My bad. You're right, Ben. You're right. 865-255-03. You know what I'm gonna do, Ben? I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break and regroup.
I think it's time for a break.
I'm gonna take a break and regroup. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a break and regroup. Oh man. Gotta fix it. Gotta fix the roster, man. Gotta have guys that contribute. Gotta build the depth. There's no other way around it. No other way around it. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. Swain Event is fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Hour number two is brought to you by Action 247. What is Action 247? That's Tennessee's only legal sports book, folks. Tennessee's only legal sports book. And right now,
it's Red Plastic Cop with some big news for you movie-making, content-creating video superstars. Show your mad skills and create a video of why it's so important to keep Tennessee litter-free. It's the TSSAA No Trash November Student Video Contest, sponsored by Nobody Trashes Tennessee.
That's right. You can
go to NobodyTrashesTennessee.com/TSSAA for details. High school and middle school students can submit their video and receive scholarships and prizes provided by TSSAA. Word, peace out. Is that still a thing? Am I being too cool for the school kids? Just asking.
888-222-0303 is our telephone number. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. I'm live right here in the Lowe T Center studio. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
At work? Can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End Barbecue is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End Barbecue delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. Cheer on your favorite team with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com. JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
It's Red Plastic Cop with some big news for you movie-making, content-creating video superstars. Show your mad skills and create a video of why it's so important to keep Tennessee litter-free. It's the TSSAA No Trash November Student Video Contest, sponsored by Nobody Trashes Tennessee. Go to nobodytrashestennessee.com/TSSAA for details. High school and middle school students can submit their video and receive scholarships and prizes provided by
monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatments for just $155 a month, self-pay, or is covered by most health insurance, and they ship directly to your home. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment. That's lowtcenter.com. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Don't remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Attaboy. Attaboy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is time for Attaboy. Attaboy is connected by Iris Networks. IrisNetworksUSA.com is their website. Go to their website and see how they can help you business owners have reliable, quality fiber internet and voice and not have a payment for your first 90 days. Follow them on Twitter, Iris Networks USA. Attaboy, Ben. I'll let you go first, and then I will grab my Attaboy and share with everyone today as well.
Perfect. I've got 2 things that I would like to share. If you'll give me the time, they'll be real quick. I'm going to Providence Rhode Island for my first Attaboy, and we had this sent in to us on Twitter earlier in the week. I believe Miss Audrey sent it to us on Twitter. Getting on the bus in the morning is a lot more enjoyable for a Westerly, Rhode Island boy who uses a wheelchair to get around, thanks to the kindness of the construction class at Westerly High School. Every morning, Monday through Friday, 5-year-old Ryder Kylum heads outside to wait for the bus to pick him up to take him to Dunn's Corners Elementary School. Every morning, his parents push him outside to the end of their driveway. Initially, the Kylum family set up a homemade area at the end of their driveway to keep Ryder sheltered while waiting for the bus. And a group of students at the school, at a Westerly High School, the construction technology class that I mentioned, they built a little, not like a home, but like a little hut, so to speak. And Mason Heald, a 17-year-old senior, decided to make it his senior project for when Ryder has to wait for the bus. He's now shielded from the weather. He's not being rained on or anything like that. You had a big box company donate about $300 worth of wood to help out with this product, and they went to work and put this together, and they're calling it Keelam's house, which it isn't an actual house, but more like of a hut for him to just kind of hang out under while he waits for the bus and braves the weather. So I thought this was really cool, and it weighed heavily on my heart, and wanted to share that. And then also I want to give JJ Watt an Attaboy, because he is offering to cover the funeral expenses for, and I may butcher this, so forgive me, the Waukesha victims, the town in Michigan where an idiot decided to drive into a Christmas parade and multiple people were injured and killed. Well, JJ Watt, who is from Wisconsin, I believe is actually from this town in Wisconsin, or this article says he went to a high school in, why does Wisconsin have funky city names? Have you ever noticed that, Swain?
Yeah, I have.
Well, gosh, Pewaukee? I don't know. It's his high school, and it's a few miles from where the incident at the Christmas parade took place, and that tragedy occurred, and JJ Watt is offering to cover the funeral expenses. So JJ Watt, plenty of attaboys that we have given to him, and he just does so much great work, he and his family, and this just adds to the list of Volstorm says Waukesha, so thank you, Volstorm, for that pronunciation. Apparently, I'm like every other Tennessee fan and don't know how to pronounce things, so I guess I'm an idiot as well, according to Fran Francilla. But attaboy to JJ Watt.
That's a good one right there, man. Those two are really good. I'll add an attaboy here. I'm giving it to Iona. The Gales became the first team in the MAC. The Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference history to beat an AP top 10 team after they beat Alabama 72-68 on Thursday night. So Rick Pitino's Iona Gales getting it done and making history. So I'm giving them an attaboy because they made history. I'm not being petty. I'm giving them an attaboy because they made history. Do you believe me?
Well, I'm surprised because you are a noted big Nate Oates basketball fan. I mean, you love Alabama basketball. I mean, you rooted for Alabama to beat Will Wade in the SEC tournament and win the SEC tournament.
That's
so
news to
I'm
me.
surprised that you're going this route against one of your favorite basketball teams.
That's news to me. That is news to me, Ben.
Not news to the Swain Event listeners if they've been listening since last March.
No, that's fake news right there. But good job, Rick Pitino and the Iona Gales for getting it done, making history. 865-255-03. I will not let, and we will not let, this transfer news ruin senior day vibes and this football team being able to go out and finish this season on a high note, finish 7-5. 7-5. This team has a chance to finish 7-5. This is unreal when you think about it. We did not have this, penciled in as a possible result. Now, I know Vol Nation had 7-5, but Vol Nation always say 75. He just say 75. That's his standard go-to, 75. I mess with you, Vol Nation. But people are taking notice. People are taking notice. I saw what Kurt Herbstreit had some positive things to say about Tennessee and Josh Heupel. 7-5 with a win over Vanderbilt and chance to win 8 freaking games. 8 freaking games. Let's go to the phones. 865-255-03. Good morning. Who do we have here?
The one and only
C-Mac.
Good morning.
Good morning, man. You waking up earlier and earlier.
You about to hit this Del Amo. Go shopping.
Oh, yeah. It's Black Friday.
You know the deal.
It's Black Friday.
Crispity, crackety, crunchity Friday. Yes.
Enjoy, man.
Crackety.
Enjoy those lines.
I hope it ain't Nan.
It will be.
I don't doubt it. I wanted to call and to further show my support and gratitude and much appreciation for the people that I'm very thankful for this year. Number one on that list might surprise a lot of people, but I'm very thankful for Mr. McKee.
Wow.
Ahead of Swain?
Huh?
He put me number one on the list, which means he's more thankful for me than you.
That's fine. That's cool.
See,
I appreciate that, C-Mac. I appreciate you more than DR Vol and Volstorm.
See that, C-Man? See how he can't take a compliment? See how he trying to instigate?
I know.
See that?
You see how he already
picked me number one instead of you. See that?
Hey, you put me first. He put me first.
Right after he dropped some fake news about me liking Nate Oates and Alabama basketball, he gonna
it's
say
not
that.
fake news. You drooled all over Alabama basketball in the SEC tournament. This is just facts.
Oh my gosh, we still goofy. We still goofy during Thanksgiving break.
Goofy Nick having that boy. You can't take no compliment.
I said thank you to you. I was throwing shade at Swain, not shade at you.
Hey Ben, guess who controlled the mic volume today?
Me too.
Get him. Get him. Get him.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. I hope everybody had an incredible Turkey Day. I'm still, I'm still floating and rolling from yesterday. Incredible meal with incredible people. I hope everyone had the opportunity to experience the same. I guess the second thing I'm very thankful for, if I was pressured to put McKee as my number one. Number two would be every person that interacts with the show, that listens to the show, whether you call in or whether you don't. We're all one big family. And it's been one hell of a year, to get 7-5 after we beat this Candy ASS team. It's going to be quite the journey that we've experienced under this first year. We might not have hit the true fourth or fifth or even the sixth gear in hyperdrive, but I have faith that we're really going to hit that top flight, hyper speed, come in these next couple of seasons. So I just wanted to take the time this morning to say that I'm very thankful for all of y'all, Swain, McKee, Stokes, everybody. I'm very thankful for everybody who participates and, like I said, who listens to the show. It's nothing but love. So I greatly appreciate y'all this morning, man.
Man, C-Mac, I appreciate the kind words for sure. And I know the Swain Event listeners do as well. Do you have a score prediction for tomorrow afternoon?
Shoot. How much do we need to break the record? Like 50 something?
Well, it's a complicated record. I say we just hang
It's like an average,
and
right?
call it a day.
I mean, I think we're gonna leave them boys with at least some form of dignity. So I'm gonna say like 65 to nothing.
To nothing, huh?
I'll take it.
Hey, we need another donut on the other end of that board real bad, because you know what goes really well with 50 and 60 Whoppers? A donut to finish it all
what
up.
What are you talking about?
See, man, what you talking about, man?
You say
what goes
Whopper?
well with the 50 Whopper?
50 Whopper, okay.
A donut.
A donut.
Does it?
A donut. 50
Yes.
Whopper, 50 to nothing. Got you.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm still sleepy, y'all.
It's all
Please
good.
Forgive me.
It's all good, see, man. Go get some sleep, man. Good luck shopping.
I greatly appreciate it. Much love. Love y'all. Y'all take care.
All right, see you.
You're
I
not
think
gonna
this
say
is
that
the
you want
perfect
them
time, Ben. A moment of silence. As we approach hour number 3, we're going to have Chris Lowe on. A lot of things going on around college football as we enter rivalry week. A lot of coaching moves taking place. Some guys deciding to stay, getting some big contract. Even before we get to all that, I think we need to take a moment of silence, Ben, for our friend calls into the show. He's obviously delusional because even with his team being as terrible as they are,
He still called in?
He continues to talk trash. No, he ain't called in. I'll be surprised if he calls in hour number 3. But he still continues to talk trash. And that is our friend, Triple OG Jamie. I think we should take a moment of silence for him because his Lions lost for the 15th straight time, dating back to the games last year at the end of the season. The Lions are 0-15-1 in their last 16 games. All right, that was enough silence right there. We got the Lions coming up on For What? We got Chris Lowe joining us in hour number 3. We got touchdown turnover coming up as well. We still have a lot to get to. But Tiyon Evans did give us a little bit of material this morning, even though it's a bad look to transfer and make this announcement a day before your team is getting ready to play a football game. It's a bad look. But he'll be recruited again, and I'm sure that's what he wants to do. And I hope he get everything he needs, everything he wants, and wish him nothing but the best. But did not handle things the best way here. Hope he learns a lesson from that. 865-255-03. Hour number 3 is coming up. So let me get to the text box before we have to go to break. I think you meant to say we beat. We beat Vandy 60-7. I guess Orange Attic is just waking up. Why did running back into the portal? I don't have that answer for you today. I think that is a answer that Tiyon Evans has to answer if we ever hear that answer from him. I think there's a couple different reasons that we can point to of why he decided to enter the portal, but I want to hear it from him, what his main reason is. Because can't blame it on the system, because of injuries. I don't see a lot of other offensive guys getting hurt because of the system. Can't blame it on folks not trying to take care and look after him. Can't blame it on that. So I wonder what he's going to say if he's ever asked about that publicly. I hope he is. Hope he is asked. I want to hear it. 865-255-03. We'll take a quick timeout. It is the top of the hour. So stay with us. We'll be right back. Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Litter is a big problem in Tennessee, but together we can do big things. We can make our cities, our waterways, our roads cleaner and safer. The Tennessee Department of Transportation is committed to reducing litter in our communities, but we need your help to do it. There are over 100 million pieces of litter in our roads at any given time, and it costs TDOT about $19 million a year just to clean it up. The first step to keeping Tennessee beautiful is to rally behind these 3 simple words. Nobody trashes Tennessee. Join the Nobody Trashes Tennessee movement at nobodytrashestennessee.com.
Good morning, Swain Event family. Several of you, like Ben McKee, have reached out to me for real estate assistance this year, and I want to say thank you. I appreciate your trust in me to ask questions and help you navigate the real estate world.
That's right, Jennifer. Buying a home is a scary process, especially for a first-time home buyer. Jennifer recently helped my wife and I buy our first home and made the entire process seamless. Her willingness to go above and beyond is what sets her apart.
As always, feel free to give me a call. Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. We are joined by the great Ben McKee and also the greatest Chris Lowe of ESPN. CeeLo, good morning.
Morning. How are you guys? It's great to be with you.
Man, we are great.
Everybody had a happy Thanksgiving.
We are great. CeeLo, are you still full?
Well, I'm out of my my post-Thanksgiving coma. I mean, that's and we all. What time was your nap swing yesterday?
I think it was a little bit during the Cowboys-Raiders game. It was like 15, 20 minutes. It wasn't long at all.
How about Ben? When was yours, Ben?
I did not take a nap. My nap was when I went to bed. There's too much football on to be napping, CeeLo.
Well, wait till you get to my age. And taking a nap on Thanksgiving probably is right up there with having cranberry sauce and turkey dressing.
Ben, don't try to throw shade, man. Don't try to throw shade. I caught that. I caught that. You ain't slick, Ben. You ain't slick at all. Not slick, Ben. Chris, Ben's been doing this all morning. He think he's slick. Instigating, throwing a little shade. I fell asleep.
See, you are instigating right now because I did not throw any shade.
I should have went to sleep in the Lions-Bears game because that game was boring. It was super boring. But the most boring game of the NFL trio was the Saints-Buffalo Bills game. So did not go sleep during that game.
I know one thing. I wish that that Mississippi State-Ole Miss game would have been more entertaining, Mr. Lowe.
Yeah, it sort of fit the weather, windy, misty rain. And I was like you, man. I thought it was going to be a really good game. I was thinking 42-40, 45-41. Although both defenses ended up being a lot better this year than I thought they would. But I was like you, Ben. I was looking for an entertaining game that would go down to the last, possession or so, and just was a little bit of a dud, I should say.
CeeLo, is there a scenario where you see Mississippi State and Ole Miss looking for a new coach at the end of the season?
Certainly Ole Miss. I think Lane's going to be in play a lot of places because, Jason, man, there's just so many jobs that are open or going to be open. And guys are getting raises to stay. We've seen Mel Tucker get just an astronomical raise. I think Dave Aranda is going to get one at Baylor to stay at Baylor. James Franklin got one at Penn State. So when you start weighing all that, I think Luke Fickell probably isn't going anywhere, especially if his team's in the playoff, which I think they will be. And you start looking at all the openings and who's staying. I mean, I think you still may see Louisville open. I think Miami may open. I think there's a chance that Auburn may open if Brian Harsin gets into that Washington. I don't know who these coaches are. Where the coaches are going to fill all these jobs. So it's at some point a guy like Lane, even though over the course of his career, he's been a bit of a knucklehead off the field. But in his defense, really nothing at Florida Atlantic or Ole Miss, outside of him being a troll on Twitter. He hasn't really done anything off the field. That he hasn't had any issues off the field. That I would say if you're an AD or an athletic director, so I'm not going to hire him because of this. Now, people will not hire him because of some of his escapades that when he was assistant in Alabama or Tennessee. And obviously he got fired at SC, but that just because they weren't living up to expectations. But when you weigh all that, yeah, I think he's got a chance to get in several places. Miami, most notably, if Diaz gets fired. Maybe LSU, because the LSU coaching search starts with Jimbo Fisher. But actually, it doesn't. The better way of putting it is it doesn't start until after Jimbo Fisher says, no, emphatically no, I'm not coming for like the 15th time after they played this weekend, LSU at A&M. By the way, in Baton Rouge.
Oh, boy.
How weird will that be?
That would be real weird.
So, could he get in at LSU? Yeah, I think he probably could, depending on who else would be on their list. But I don't know about Leach. Where would Leach go? Would he go to Miami potentially? Does he fit at a place like Virginia Tech? See, that's the school right now. I don't know who they're going to hire. Billy Napier, I think, probably is going to sign something with Florida on Sunday or Monday, unless something falls through. This is very fluid. This whole deal is very fluid, as you guys know. But I'd be shocked if Napier's not the coach of Florida. So where does Virginia Tech go? I think TCU is probably Sonny Dykes' job if he wants it, which means SMU opens. I don't think Mike Leach goes from Mississippi State to SMU. USC, while we talked about Washington, there's a lot of big jobs open out there. So I don't know where he would go, Swain. I don't know where Mike would go. I know that Virginia Tech would love to have Dave Clawson, who, by the way, has done just a terrific job at Wake Forest and has now for a couple of years. But I think Wake Forest is going to pony up and keep him. You see, there's another guy that the school is going to say, nope, we're not losing you, we're going to pay you. In private schools, as we've seen, Liberty's paying Hugh Freeze an average of $4.2 million a year, which is more than 5 SEC coaches. But private schools in the realm of Baylor, Liberty, Wake Forest, TCU, these schools can pay really about what they want to pay. And we're starting to see that. So, it'll be crazy to see some of the guys. And maybe it'll be refreshing because maybe some guys that deserve a shot at a head coaching job that maybe haven't gotten one or they got left behind or for whatever reason will get a shot at some really good jobs. And that, to me, would be pretty refreshing to see that happen.
Whew. Chris Lowe, ESPN hero on the Swain Event. It just appears that Brian Harsin is not fitting in with how things are ran here in the SEC. Do you think he's having a little bit of a difficulty adjusting to the expectations of Auburn, to the people at Auburn, and he will look to possibly go back to the West Coast?
He's a good coach. I mean, Brian's, as the old saying goes, he had just forgotten how to coach. But you're right. Auburn's the complexities at that school when it comes to coaching football are well chronicled, and it takes the right fit. And you could say that about a lot of places, but I think that's especially true at Auburn. And I don't know that they've adjusted to him or he's adjusted to Auburn. I think it's probably a two-way street. So, yeah, I think if the right gig comes open, I think he would look to leave Washington most specifically. I don't know about Washington State. I've heard that Arizona State is probably now inclined to hold on to Herm Edwards. I thought initially that job might open. I think at BYU you have to be part of the LDS Church to be the head football coach. But Kalani Sitake's another guy that deserves a shot somewhere if he wants to leave. I think he's done a great job. He's a really good football coach, a good leader of men. Would he get a shot at Washington, say? And if BYU were to come open, again, I'm not sure Brian is a member of the LDS Church, but he would be, I think, in play if so at BYU. But I do think that he's going to look to get out if he can. You know, the big domino that could fall is if Jimbo does indeed say no, and I do think Lincoln Riley to some degree would be at LSU. I don't know. I don't want to put any percentages on it, but I think that he would be certainly a guy, if they haven't already reached out, they will reach out. Now, he may not leave. I don't know if he'll leave or not, because Oklahoma's, obviously one of the top 6, 7, 8 jobs in America. But I think LSU is one of the top 3 jobs, 3 or 4. And he's already moving into the SEC. So if he's going to be in the SEC, do you have a better chance to win at a high level at Oklahoma or LSU? I mean, I don't know. I think at LSU. You got a school that's won 3 national championships in the last 18 years with 3 different coaches. 2 of those coaches, Ed Ogeron and Les Miles, who are no longer in coaching.
Mm-hmm.
So I think LSU is just a plum job. So would he consider it? I think he would consider it. And if that happens, then I think they would probably have Josh Heupel on their list. Oklahoma. I don't know that he would be the number one.
Why would you do that, Chris?
Well, I mean, if you were Oklahoma,
why would you do that? We've already been dealing with the freak out here on the Swain Event, and Lincoln's not even gone anywhere. Why would you do that to us? The day after Thanksgiving.
Hey, you guys asked me to break down the coach search, and I deliver, man.
Hey, that's right.
But let me ask you this, then. If you're the AD, Joe Castiglione at Oklahoma, and you lose Lincoln Riley, who sort of fits there, who's played there, who's done a terrific job this year in his first year, would you not at least talk to Josh Heupel?
Well, personally, I think Josh Heupel is very overrated. I think his offense only doesn't work elsewhere. Oh. I think there's character issues. I mean, I just think there's all sorts of issues with Josh Heupel.
Ben McKee on with you today, not Danny White.
Hey, man, Ben McKee is thinking like an AD right here.
Which, you know what, I know Danny White, certainly if that scenario were to play out, is not going to sit here and let his guy walk, because for the first time in a while, you've got a first-year guy who's come in here and really sort of breathed. You know, Josh has been a breath of fresh air in a lot of ways because of the way he's conducted himself, the way his team has played. They're fun to watch play. So I don't just how positive, the positive vibe that surrounds the program has been really refreshing, I think, for a lot of people. So I don't think Danny White's just going to sit there on his hands and let him walk if that were to happen.
Not worried.
Look, it's going to be a crazy. I'm telling you, this next week to week and a half to 2 weeks. I mean, going all the way out to that Sunday or Monday after the conference championship game weekend is going to be crazy because all it's going to take is a few more jobs, and invariably there's a job that opens none of us see coming. You know, I mentioned Louisville, I mentioned Miami, Auburn, perhaps, but what if there's somebody else, another
Louisville.
big job that opens?
Louisville open.
What's that?
You said Louisville's open?
No, I said what if I could see that potentially opening.
Is that more Louisville saying bye-bye or Satterfield finally finding a way to get go somewhere else?
I think if they lose to Kentucky, that they may make a move. I think he and AD both could be in trouble there. You know, it's going to be as I said, it's going to be a crazy next 2 weeks. Probably.
What do you?
It's probably as wild as we've seen it, the off-season coaching carousel in a long, long time.
What do you make of the Stoops stuff? I mean, could that be a job that potentially opens? His name's been floated out there. Do you buy any of that? And I mean, do you think that Stoops would fit in at one of these big-time schools?
Bob or Mark?
Mark.
Well, Bob's pretty much said, and I talked to Bob in the last month, and I don't think he's going back to college coaching. I just don't think he wants any part of recruiting and transfer portal, and I think that ship sailed with him. As for Mark, yeah, because again, going back to my first point, I mean, there's going to be so many jobs open that somebody has to fill them. And Mark at Kentucky has really steadied that program and got it to a level that they haven't. I think somebody told me he's a winner, a couple wins away from being the all-time winningest coach there. I mean, and he's done it with players and recruiting classes that don't rank as highly as, heck, if you rank their high recruiting classes over the last, and I know Tennessee's beaten up on Kentucky on the field, but their classes haven't ranked as high as Tennessee's over the last 8, 9, 10 years. And yet he's had wins over LSU and Florida. And so, yeah, I think he'll get a shot. The thing I think he does best is develop football players and bring in guys that maybe are a little bit under-recruited. And he's gone into Ohio and gotten great football players. Heck, he's come into Tennessee this year and got some good kids. He's gone up into the Northeast, up to New Jersey, and really developed guys and coached them up. And I think that the draft, the NFL draft of the last few years would bear that out. So, yeah, Ben, I think he would be in play a couple places. But you know what? I don't know that – I think Kentucky has done – Mitch Barnhart has done a really good job of spending money there and investing in the football program. And Mark Stoops to stay at Kentucky and win 7 to 9 games for the rest of his life and be fine, and they're going to be fine with that.
Chris Stoops is at 57 wins. The all-time winningest coach is Bear Bryant at 60.
There you go.
So he is close, which
there you go.
is kind of sad. To be
Bear
honest,
Bryant was, I mean, he was there in the 50s?
46 to 53. I mean, come on,
Yeah,
it's kind of sad
that
Stoops about to be the all-time winningest coach at Kentucky with 61 wins.
Yeah. So Mark's I think if you live in Tennessee and you're a Tennessee fan, you look at Mark and say, we've beaten up on him, we've owned him, much like the way Florida has owned Tennessee, even in Tennessee's best years. You know, Florida paid taxes in this state because they own Tennessee. But I think if you look at it from 30,000 feet away, the guy's done a really good job coaching and recruiting and developing and getting Kentucky to a point to where the last couple of years, most of the season, they've been ranked. And that would have been, 10, 15, 20 years ago. If you'd have said about a Kentucky football, nobody would have believed it. So I do think I don't think, Ben, he's like number one or maybe even number two on a lot of these lists. But see, I think we're going to get down to 3, 4, 5 in a lot of places, much like we see happen a lot of times. And Tennessee was way down the list last year. Heck, when Mullen got hired at Florida, he was 3. Remember, Chip Kelly was the guy they wanted. He went to UCLA, then Scott Frost. He goes to Nebraska, and Florida gets Dan Mullen from Florida, who was Mississippi State. He was coming to Tennessee to be the head coach if Frost or Kelly would have taken the UCLA job. So it's crazy the way these things work out. But it's just rare that you get your absolute number one choice as head football coach.
Whew. Chris Lowe, ESPN here. Which job is better, LSU or Florida?
LSU.
Why do people think Florida's better?
Well, I mean, and I could see how if we had 10 people in the room, there would be some mixed feelings or different opinions on that. I think, I'll tell you why. I don't just want to answer the question, I'll tell you why. I think, number one, you're the school in that state, the school of record. Kids in that state, which is a talent-rich state, I mean, they have a ton of talent that comes out of the state of Louisiana every year. 95% of every kid who grows up in that state grows up dreaming about being an LSU Tiger. So that's number one, combined with the fact it's a really talent-rich state, much like Florida is. I think staying on the talent standpoint, they go into the Houston area, Swain, which is not real far, the Baton Rouge area, and get great players. And you know what the talent's like over in the Houston, Texas area, and that huge radius.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been able to go into there and mine that territory pretty well. That's another reason. I think the second reason is their pattern of winning at a high level. As I said a minute ago, they've had 3 different head coaches win national championships in the last 18 years. And this is nothing against Ed Ogeron or Les Miles, but both those guys are no longer coaching football.
Nope.
Now, Saban did it, and he's probably the greatest to ever do it. But so it says that, you know, in a 20-year window, 3 different guys can come there and win national titles. They're all different. You know, 2 of the 3 are, I don't think, well, they're not coaches, but I mean, they're high in demand right now. I think the other reason is that you are sort of, you know, you're in the West with Bama and Auburn and Texas A&M, but you're sort of down there by yourself, you know, on the bayou, and I think that helps too. Just sort of, you're not in a state with another school or right there in the same geographical area, you know, and the traditions and resources are great. I mean, I always look at it, where do you have a chance most consistently to win at the highest level? And is there a track record at that school for having done that? And at LSU there is, certainly here recently. I mean, Bama, before Nick got to Alabama, I mean, Bama was a good job. I don't think it was the elite job or one of the 2 or 3 elite jobs. I mean, they'd gone through a number of coaches and hadn't won a lot. Tennessee went through a stretch where they owned Alabama. But here comes Saban, and now it is, if not the best job in America, it's one of the top 2 best jobs in America. And they just continue to spend and spend and invest and reinvest in the facilities. And I feel sorry for the poor guy who goes in after Nick, though. I can tell you that.
Chris, I caught what you said earlier about Billy Napier and Florida. Assuming that does happen and nothing crazy takes place between now and the beginning of next week, what are your thoughts on that potential hire?
Well, he been as a guy who's been in demand now for a while, at least for 2 years, and he's turned down a ton of jobs in the SEC. I can count at least 5, Tennessee being one of them. When I say turned down, has said no thank you when they reached out to him. Turned down opportunities is probably the best way to say it. Because no school or no AD ever gets turned down. You guys know that, right?
That's right.
Tennessee, Mississippi State, Arkansas, Ole Miss, South Carolina are all jobs he had a really good – if he had gone head first, yes, I want it, he had a really good chance to get all 5 of those. And he said no. I think even Missouri, too, may have been another. So he's been patient. He's been selective. He checks a lot of boxes. He's an offensive guy. He loves to recruit, tenacious recruiter. I mean, let's be honest, man. Some coaches just don't like recruiting. They just don't like it. He has worked for Saban. He's worked for Dabo. He's done a really good job. I think they're going to win or have won 10 games in Louisiana for the third straight year this year. I think before that, they had never won 10 games ever in a season at Louisiana. He's sort of been able to galvanize that fan base. They've spent money. They've been able to sort of reinvest in that program while he's been there. So he's one of these guys. He's younger. I think a lot of ADs, they all have these proverbial short lists. He's been on a lot of those short lists. And, again, checks the box. I just can't ever see Florida, unless Bob Stoops were going to get back into it. I just can't see Florida hiring someone who's not an offensive guy. And certainly Billy is. His offenses have been really good at Louisiana, and he's a really detailed, organized guy. And talking to people who coach with him and people he's coached under, and that's I think when you look at Florida right now, that's sort of what they're looking for. The recruiting part then is critical. Everybody says, "Well, Florida recruits itself." Well, not really. Not really. I mean, you got Miami in that state. You got Florida State in that state. Georgia comes down into Florida. I mean, Alabama goes. Nick goes everywhere and recruits. Everybody's coming into your state to recruit. You know, you got to start to take that state back again and get the elite players. They've lost too many guys over the last few years who are elite football players who went elsewhere. I think that's the thing they've got to do, and I think they've got to get that edge back in that program. That, you know, the kind of edge they had when Urban was there, and the kind of edge they had when the head ball coach was there. I think that's what's got to happen more than anything, is sort of take that state back from a recruiting standpoint. You're not going to get everybody, but get the best one and get that edge back. I just, you know, the Gator brass feels like he's the best guy to do that.
865-255-03 is our number to the Irish Networks hotline. Chris Lowe is on that hotline, and man, after Saturday, it's going to be some dominoes falling in college football. I guess it is what they call it, the Black Monday of college football.
Yep, it'll be that week, and probably will extend until that next week after the conference championship games. You know, the wild card. To me, there's like three wild cards. Number one, Jimbo. What's he going to do? Is he going to stay at A&M? The second one would be, to me, the guy. If I were an AD right now, and they said, "All right, Chris, you go get a guy in college football to come in and lead your program," Luke Fickell would be my first call.
Okay.
But I just, you know, I was up there a few weeks ago visiting with him to do a piece on their program and him, and my sense is that he's a Midwestern guy. He's lived outside the state of Ohio. I think he told me about 13 months his entire life, and that's when he was on the New Orleans Saints practice squad. Other than that, he's been in Ohio his entire life. He's a Midwestern guy. He's got a big family, 6 kids. He's Catholic. I think if it's not Ohio State, if it's not Notre Dame, I don't know, especially with his team in the playoff swing, which I think they're going to get there. I don't see him going, because if you're in the playoff, you're not going to be really ready to move until, the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th of January.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't see him being a guy that takes a job and coaching his team in the playoff during that interim. I just don't see him. So he's the other wild card. If I'm wrong about him, and he does move, he can stay at USC or LSU or somewhere, Florida. So that's the second wild card. I think if there's a third wild card, you know, it's Matt Campbell, because he's another guy that has sort of been in demand. Where's he going to go? Is he going to leave? Is he a fit at Southern Cal? Is he a guy that Scott Woodward at LSU turns to if he can't get Jimbo? So he's, you know, I think he's much like Fickell, is a little bit more of a Midwestern guy. But if LSU calls, if USC calls, if Florida calls, I think you got to listen to those three, because those are 3 of the top 6, 7 jobs in America. And I think there's a 3B wild card, and that's Lane. You know, what's what's going to happen is there going to be enough guys who stay put and re-up like a Franklin, like a Randall, like a Mel Tucker, to where AD said, you know what, this guy's going to win. And now, yeah, we got to put up with some of this goofiness on Twitter and maybe, Lane being Lane, as they say. His dad, Monty, always says there's a reason when he was a kid they called him Lane the Pain. But clearly he can coach football. I mean, clearly he can recruit. His offensive acumen and the way his teams play offense, I mean, that's the way people want to play offense. That's what fans want to see now is high-scoring offensive football, that niche. So he's a guy that I think could be a little bit of a wild card too, depending on how the dominoes fall. Now, the problem with Lane is next year football will put in a rule that he can't fake injuries. So that may work against him because they have mastered the art of faking injuries. Now, everybody else does it, but I don't think anybody does it quite to the degree of Ole Miss and the Rebels.
Oh, man, we got to talk about good thing for Tennessee is we're not having to worry about, or shouldn't have to worry about Tennessee looking for another coach. So that's one of the good things about sitting here and watching what's taking place around the landscape of college football, knowing that Tennessee has a coach. And I don't care if Oklahoma opens up or not. I'm not going to be worried. So I like what we got going on right now. We'll have some movement with our players transferring out. We'll have some players coming in, and looking forward to seeing it. Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, it's been a really the best word I can use is refreshing. A refreshing season.
Yep.
Around with Tennessee football, it really has. The way the players have played, and how hard they played, and the way Tennessee scored points has been fun to watch. When's the last time you remember a Tennessee team that's been this entertaining? It's been a while, and I think that's credit to Josh and his staff and kids on that team like Hendon Hooker and Matthew Butler. Some older guys who've really sort of taken hold of that locker room and bought in and continued to, even after tough losses. I mean, you get shut out in the second half by Florida. You get beaten pretty badly down there, but you don't let that demoralize you. You're right there with Alabama, and Alabama just sort of crushed you in the fourth quarter. You don't let that demoralize you. The Ole Miss game, they had every chance to win that game. Got the short end of the stick from the officiating, but still continue to get better and play hard. And that's the thing I like best about this team is they just really haven't let things affect them. They continue to push forward and play hard. And again, I think that, the staff that Josh hired, having guys like Rodney and Martinez and Eckler, those guys who've been around the SEC, and what Tim Banks on defense, and I know Tennessee's numbers, across the board, and there's some really good numbers like negative plays on defense and tackles for loss, but here's a guy who comes in and not been a coordinator and first year has done a really good job. So I think there's a lot of things to like. The thing that's so important now, Swain, man, is they got to burn it up on recruiting. I know this first class is going to be pretty. I won't say bad. It's just going to be okay. But the next couple have to be really good because they're already behind. So you're going to have two so-so classes in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And in the SEC, that's tough to recover from.
Yep.
So the 20, would that be the 22 or the 23 and the next one have to be really good. And otherwise, I don't know that it's really realistic to recover if you have three so-so to bad. I don't want to say bad because who knows if they're bad,
Mm-hmm.
I don't, but on paper anyway, three in a row are tough to climb out from under.
Got to make it happen. It's the conference that we're in, and there's only one way to be successful. That's recruit, develop, and coach up your players, and have great in-game adjustments, and there's no other way around it, Chris. And we got to bring you back on next week. I know a lot of stuff is going to happen, and this season has been refreshing. Even with some of the tough losses, you haven't had the drama. Like, it's been fun to see the offense put up points, but without drama, and that's been the most refreshing thing for me. So we'll do it again, Chris. Man, I always appreciate your time, and happy Thanksgiving, late Thanksgiving to you and the family, and enjoy the leftovers.
I will. Same to you guys. It's always a lot of fun coming on with you guys. You guys have a great rest of the week.
You too, my man. Chris Lowe, ESPN, here on the Swain Event. Good stuff, as always, from Chris. And his time today was brought to you by Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. Her telephone number is 865-257-7897. Got a cool thing to share with you. On Tuesday, the Clay family, who are listeners of the show, they close on their East Tennessee property with the help of Jennifer Morris. So congratulations to you, the Clay family, closing on your new property. Thank you for listening to the show, making the Swain Event part of your morning each and every day. We really, really appreciate that. So good stuff there from Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty. Her email is jennifermorris865@gmail.com. Her number, again, is 865-257-7897. Before we go to break, share
It's
with
Red
you
Plastic
that the
Cop with some big
official
news for you movie-making,
UT
content
license
creating
plate
video
available at
superstars.
Tennessee
Show your
County
mad
Clerk
skills
locations
and create a
and
video of
supports
why it's so important to keep Tennessee
scholarships
litter-free.
for
It's the
youth.
TSSAA No Trash
These are
November
available
Student Video
across the
Contest.
state
Sponsored
of
by Nobody
Tennessee
Trashes
at your
Tennessee.
county clerk
Go to
locations.
NobodyTrashesTennessee.com/TSSAA for details. High school and middle school students can submit their video and receive scholarships and prizes provided by TSSAA. Word, peace out. Is that still a thing? Am I being too cool for the school kids? Just asking.
Good stuff right there, Ben, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Good stuff from Chris, as always. Don't let Chris scare y'all. Don't let Chris scare y'all. He just, listen, he's just doing his job. Don't let him scare y'all. We good. We good over here. We got to take a break, though, Ben. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. So we will take a quick timeout. We got about 20 minutes left in the program, so we got a lot of stuff to get to still. We might not even get to it all today. Tennessee Vanderbilt tomorrow. It is senior day. The squad is wearing all orange. If you can get to the game, please get to the game. Show your love and appreciation for these seniors. Laying the foundation for Josh Heupel, and Heupel has some big-time praise for these seniors. Hopefully we can get a chance to share those words with you today. I'll let you pull it up, Ben. See if we can get to that in the next 20 minutes. But we still got a lot of stuff to get to. We'll take a quick timeout here on the Swain Event. So don't go anywhere. Stay with us. We will be right back.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
When you start your own business, you know that branding can make or break a new venture. That's why Swain Event relies on 42nd Street. 42nd Street is a strategy agency focused on finding creative, open-minded, results-driven solutions to brand design. After over a decade of operations in East Tennessee, the brand architects at 42nd Street have the experience and creative know-how to ensure the success of your business branding, logo, web presence, and more. To see a real-life example of their amazing work, you can check out our website at swainevent.com. Don't trust the branding of your business to just anyone. Check out my friends at 42nd Street online at 42st.com or give them a call at 865-382-7007. 42nd Street, brand, strategy, design.
Voted Best Barbecue in City View Magazine and a top 100 barbecue restaurant in the country, Dead End is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering and local delivery with Valet Gourmet. That's right, you can have Dead End brought to you. Can't think of the spread for your next event? Get Dead End to cater it. Check them out online, deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over. More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work-from-anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses.
Fellas, when it's time to freshen up that wardrobe, there's only one play to make, and that's to go see my friends at Mark Nelson Denim in downtown Knoxville. Find the latest in small batch denim in the heart of Knoxville. Denim isn't all they do, though. Mark Nelson also does custom suiting and blazers. Let your personal style shine with Mark Nelson. If you don't have time to go shopping for yourself but still want that fresh look, then sign up for the NN Society. Let the experts handle the shopping and get $300 worth of merchandise for just $150 every other month. That's 6 times per year to keep you looking styling every day. Let Mark Nelson Denim help you be the best you, because when you look good, you feel good. Go to marknelsondenim.com.
It's Red Plastic Cop with some big news for you movie-making, content-creating video superstars. Show your mad skills and create a video of why it's so important to keep Tennessee litter-free. It's the TSSAA No Trash November Student Video Contest, sponsored by Nobody Trashes Tennessee. Go to nobodytrashestennessee.com/TSSAA for details. High school and middle school students can submit their video and receive scholarships and prizes provided by TSSAA. Word, peace out. Is that still a thing? Am I being too cool for the school kids? Just ask.
Woo, woo! Look at that, Ben. See that transition over here? Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue, Lowe T Center Studios. Hour number 3 is powered by Lowe T Center and LoweTCenter.com, specializing in men's health. It is Men's Health Month during the month of November. And right now, got a couple days left, guys. Lowe T Center is offering monitored self-inject at-home treatments for just $155 a month for self-pay or covered by most health insurance. They will ship directly to you. So I'll say that one more time. $155 a month, self-pay, or covered by most health insurance, and they will ship directly to you. Lowe T Center, LoweTCenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. All right, Ben, these seniors, man, laying the foundation. Very, very important. Crucial. As Josh Heupel is building this empire. Listen, man, Josh Heupel talked about winning multiple championships. Well, if you win multiple championships, that means you don't have an empire. That's the plan. You have to plan it. You have to believe it before you achieve it. Ben, I'm talking about the seniors, man. Give us exactly what Josh Heupel had to say.
Yes, Josh Heupel getting Tennessee fans very excited. And, I mean, he was pretty point blank in his comments, and you summed it up perfectly, saying on Vol Calls Wednesday night that this senior class laid the foundation of what we are building. When we win championships, they're going to be a big reason why.
Man.
And he's absolutely spot on.
Yep.
Go back and watch Dabo Swinney's first comments after he won his first national championship.
Yep.
Who did he credit?
Taj Boyd and those seniors.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so if Heupel is able to win championships at Tennessee, I don't know if he's going to be able to. I don't think anybody does. But if he is able to, it'll be because of Theo Jackson and Matthew Butler that passed leadership skills down to Omari Thomas, to Danico Slaughter, Alante Taylor passing things down to Warren Burrell, Deshaun Rucker, Hendon Hooker, hopefully when he comes back next year, passing things down to Taven Jackson or whatever quarterback comes in. Jabari Small. I know I'm getting away from the seniors, but Jabari Small passing things down to Jalen Wright. Cade Mays passing things down. That's how a program is supposed to be. And, I mean, you don't even need a national championship as an example. Swain, you've talked about it numerous times. Guys like Tony Brown taking you under his wing and showing you the way. Tony Brown passed it down because guys passed it down to Tony Brown. And then you passed it down to guys because it was passed down to you. That's how a program is supposed to be. It's supposed to be passed down from Kevin Punter to Jordan Bone, from Jordan Bone to Jaden Springer and Keon Johnson, or I guess the better example would be Jordan Bone to Josiah Jordan James, and then now Josiah Jordan James to Kennedy Chandler and Zakai Ziegler, and then Zakai Ziegler will pass it down to B.J. Edwards. When it's working like that in your program, that's when you have a successful program.
Yep. Man, let me get to this text box, Ben. Really good points by you. And just to clarify, we're talking about the point guard position, passing a torch. There and leaders of the team, because people are gonna say, "Hey, well, Grant Williams." Yep. But you was talking about the guards, so I get what you was picking. I was picking up what you was putting down. So a lot of people here on the text box surprised by Tiyon Evans. People just tuning in. What's up with Tiyon trying to transfer? We had talked about this in hour number 2 when he put out a tweet the day before Tennessee plays in their last football game, senior day. Guys, excuse me if I'm not, hiding how I feel here. I think it's a load of crap. The day before senior day, Tiyon Evans put this message out. Didn't even spell Coach Heupel's name right. And he is going to transfer. He's going to transfer. He's going to get into the transfer portal. So he's going to be recruited again and all that good stuff. And it's going to be another season of recruiting for him. It'll be his third time. And NFL was not going to be an option. He does not have a lot of film, does not have enough film to go to the league. A lot of people have been talking about that for the last couple of weeks as that being an option. But if you listen to the program, you heard us talk about the 3 possible options that could happen with Tiyon Evans. He'd go to the NFL, even though that was unlikely. He could stay, take advantage of the NIL because he produced when he was healthy this season, or he could go somewhere else. And we mentioned the fact that if he goes somewhere else, he's going to have to take better care of his business. And if he stayed, he was going to have to take better care of his business.
Swain, let me ask you this. And you kind of just made the comment yourself, which is you made the comment version of what I'm about to ask. But, I mean, how reliable is Tiyon Evans even if he returns? Because he can't stay healthy. His off-the-field academics, quite frankly, just to be brutally honest, are in question. And I think you can question his buy-in a little bit. So those 3 factors, I mean, how reliable is he even if he were to return to Tennessee for another season?
No, not that reliable. But here's something to think about too, Ben. I got to give kudos to Josh Heupel because this is like Tiyon has been an unfortunate issue for weeks and weeks now, and no one really knew it publicly, except for like a few people here and there. Like, of course we knew it because we cover the team. And it's good that you didn't have people here covering the team just throwing stuff out. That's really kind of crossing the line. So kudos to Josh Heupel, and then kudos to some of the people here that cover this team. Now, if you don't care about living here, if you don't care about having the trust of the players and the school that you cover, if you want to do things reckless, then the first moment you hear stuff that was going on with Tiyon, you can just write an article about it and put it out. That's the difference between Butch Jones' era and this era. But there's a time and a place. Well, here's a time. Here's a place. Tiyon Evans announced that he's going to transfer. Well, how did he get to this point? Because that's what people want to know. Well, how did he get to this point? Usually, you get the public signs, right? You see the drama. You see the drama unfolding before your eyes, and then when a kid transfers, it's like, oh, well, duh, that was going to happen because we saw the signs from a mile away. We saw the drama. So kudos to Josh Heupel coming over from Central Florida, a smaller program where you have to deal with less of this, to go to a place like Tennessee in the SEC where now you have to deal with more fires. Because it's not really about coaching X's and O's when you come and be a head coach. It's the fires that you have to put out. They're more. It's like double. That's the thing that people don't understand. There's more stuff off the field than on the field when you are a head coach inside of the SEC, especially at a program like Tennessee. So kudos for Heupel and company for managing this situation to the point where, like, no one really knew what was going on until now. Because it could have been a distraction in this football team. But it wasn't. You still got production from the running back position with what you had. Pretty good. But if you're Tennessee, you're going to go out there in the portal, and you'll have opportunity to bring in some good backs. You have opportunity to sign a good back.
Yes, there will be good backs in the transfer portal. I don't know who. It's still early. Swain, you mentioned, what did you phrase what Monday is going to be?
Black Monday.
For coaches. Well, what nickname are we going to give it for players entering the transfer portal? Because the regular season is over. I think you're going to see hundreds of football players enter the transfer portal Sunday, Monday, and all throughout next week.
Yep,
To go ahead and try and find their new home over this next month. Go look at the FCS schools and the amount of transfers that they had last week. Their season ended a week early, and all the FCS players entered the transfer portal last Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and throughout the week. You're going to see that again with FBS players. So I don't know who that running back is that's going to be a great back in the portal, but there's going to be somebody. There always is every single year at every single position. There's going to be a shocking addition to the portal at the position. And I even though Tennessee doesn't run the traditional offense, Swain, I think with the way that they've run the football this year, and more than likely 4 out of 5 returning offensive linemen, you get healthier. You'll have more depth along the offensive line as well. I think that's attractive for a running back in the portal.
Yeah, man. There's players. There'll be good players in there. Volstorm asked about Lynn J. Dixon as a transfer from Clemson. I mean, he's an example of good players that are in the portal. AZ Vol says, was Tiyon an issue on the team? Not a big enough issue to create a huge distraction, but he didn't handle business like everybody else.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like, he was an issue, but he wasn't an issue.
Correct.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
It was he wasn't necessarily affecting others, which is, I think, a testament to the culture as well.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, in Heupel's first year, to not let this get to the point publicly where everyone knew. Like, I got people texting me like, what the heck? What? Like, they surprised. And that's good. I mean, that's good if you look at it that way. Nelson says Lynn J committed to West Virginia. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, Tennessee never.
We'll see.
There's never really a ton of traction there.
Yeah, Chip Payne says Tank Bigsby is possibly putting his name in the portal. We'll see.
If Tank Bigsby enters the transfer portal,
dude,
I will drive down to Auburn, pack his entire apartment up, and I'll move him to Knoxville myself.
I know you have some help on your in-law side.
No, they'd be bitter that he's leaving Auburn.
That's right.
They'll
probably be there trying to block you from going in to help move.
Exactly, which they should if they are the diehard Auburn fans that I know, and they are. So they should be blocking me from getting in and taking Tank Bigsby. But I talked about it here on the show a couple weeks ago. I mean, Tank Bigsby is I love watching him. He's one of my favorite SEC football players. I mean, he's just so much fun to watch. And Pruitt really wanted him, and they were in it. I think they were top 2, top 3 for him. I mean, awesome name, and his running style fits the name.
Yep.
If he enters the portal, and Tennessee were able to get him, I'd go streaking down Gay Street.
Nah, man, we good. We good. LC Vol says with Brown and Wade's going to Kentucky, besides winning, what does Tennessee have to do to repair the relationship with NPA? Lots of players are hot with Buck right now. Buck Fitzgerald runs National Playmakers Academy out of Nashville. There has been some players from his organization going to Kentucky. There's also players from his organization that are right here at Tennessee. I don't know the details of the relationship between Buck Fitzgerald and Tennessee, nor do I want to get in the middle of it to try to find out, to be honest.
Barryon Brown, the recruit from the Mid-State that a lot of people were clamoring about for when he committed to Kentucky over Tennessee yesterday. He is a very talented football player, but I would not at all be worried about him going to Kentucky at all. In fact, I am not worried at all about him going to Kentucky. We talk about Tiyon Evans. Barryon Brown comes to mind when I think of Tiyon Evans.
Yeah, I'm just, I've heard.
I'm not losing sleep over that one is my point.
Yeah, for sure. I've had people like allude and suggest that there's something going on between Buck Fitzgerald and Tennessee. And, this has been, something that's been brought up on message boards for years. And I don't expect Buck Fitzgerald to tell every kid that he works with to go to Tennessee. I just don't. I just don't do that. I don't expect that. I wouldn't tell every kid to go to Tennessee if I was in a position. Now, I don't know all the details from Tennessee throughout the different head coaches. I don't know who was right, who was wrong. Everyone tells their story, and they're going to tell it to their version. So I used to try to find out, all right, what happened here? Did Butch Jones botch this? And there was times he did. So I don't know who's the fault. I think sometimes as Tennessee fans, we automatically want to take sides just because of our fandom. But sometimes, man, Tennessee dropped the ball on things and messed up. I don't know what the case is now. If there's something going on with Tennessee and Buck Fitzgerald, I don't know. I just know in the past there's been a he said, she said, and then there has been stuff that's been said that really wasn't anything going on, wasn't a problem. All I know is Buck has players that come here. He has players that go somewhere else. So
yes, I can't.
Go ahead.
I can only speak to the individual players that were asked about, Swain. I don't think there may be a Buck Fitzgerald issue. I don't know if there is or not, but I don't think that there's one with these two particular recruitments. With Barryon Brown, I don't think that Tennessee felt like he was a good fit for what they're trying to do. And with the Wade twins, Kentucky told Destin that he could play quarterback, and Tennessee would not make that promise. So that's why those three players are going to Kentucky and not Tennessee, not because of Buck Fitzgerald.
Yep, that's where I am on that. But I want to address that whole narrative that, Buck Fitzgerald and Tennessee, because, man, that's something that's been brought up with every single coach staff for the last 5, 6, 7 years. Volstone says, I'll go back up Ben and get Tanks Bigsby. Chris in Clarksville says, Ben, Swain might even help you with Tank's move. LOL. Yeah, man, I'll be unbooked if Tank Bigsby hits the portal and Tennessee is able to get him. I will be unbooked.
Yeah,
unbooked.
I'm sure you will be.
You don't believe me?
Oh, I believe you. I'm just. What great coincidence.
I'll be unbooked. Yeah. Sorry, man. I'm booked when it comes to helping you move, but I ain't booked when it comes to helping a player like him move. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. Ben, time for you to get on that road, buddy.
It is. Gonna pack up the car as soon as you sign us off and be headed to Knoxville to watch Tennessee beat down Tennessee Tech and Vanderbilt on Saturday.
Vanderbilt. That was strong right there. Whew, I'm out of breath. 865-255-03, Iris Networks hotline. Live here from the Lowe T Center Studios. For my good friend Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. We hope you have a great weekend. Monday, we'll be back to talk about a couple Big Orange wins over the weekend. Senior Day, all orange, everything. Hope you have a great weekend. Safe travels to you, Ben. Safe travels to everyone. Hope you have a great weekend. Peace and love. We are out. The Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue.